Welcome into a Wednesday night. 7's Wild Down South Boys Talkin Toys. What's going on with y'all? I am Pop Blender, and with me on his channel, mind you, is my cousin, the one and only
Down South 7-7, also known as 3-Star Draw. What's going on, y'all?
What's going on you? That's what I want to know. What's going on you?
I finally quit sweating today, and I
Wonderful.
think I might start again sitting back in here. We were discussing room temperatures. I had to do more work today at work than I usually work in a week, and I'm worn out. So
That's why they call it work, you know. That's the problem with
there should be some kind of other way to get money
it. Hey,
legally.
I thought about starting an OnlyFans. I did. I thought about it, but I didn't go through with it. If I did, it'd be that waist up stuff. I'm thinking about starting a new meta, a new trend. It's just the waist up stuff on OnlyFans. I think I might be able to make that successful.
I think I want to try to start a silhouette channel on there, like a silhouette OnlyFans, with like Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That kind of like Austin Powers.
Yes,
that would be free. Those are some of the funniest. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
But those are some of the funniest parts in those movies when they have like the sheet or the screen up and they got the silhouettes doing just the most ridiculous shit. That cracks because I have the mind of an 18-year-old, right? The maturity. Man, it cracks me up though. Those are some of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. So yeah, I was outside and it was hot today, so I was outside.
Yes, it was.
Doing some work that I don't typically, like the type of job I was doing, I don't usually do it. So I was like, even though I'm like way senior, I didn't really know what it was that we were doing. So I was just like, all right, man, well, I'm gonna stand over here. Just let me know what you need me to do.
Is there any shade?
Well, I couldn't go sit in the truck. I felt bad.
Sure.
So,
I get it. I get it.
I did some stuff. So I did actually funny. I got in a little earlier than what I usually do, and I'm more worn out than I usually am. So what have you been doing today?
Not a whole lot. I've been kind of working on this tonight. I've tried to work with a couple different AI programs, and I'm not extremely fluent. Like I know how to kind of manipulate and do different things, but I just kept getting the most ridiculous, unhuman results. Like sometimes that stuff cracks me up, man. When I think I've typed in or I've brought a picture along to like, mess with it. It's not something I use all the time, but it's just fun to play with. And like my ex-girlfriend. And so I was messing around with it today, and some of the results it gives you, even though you're meticulous and you give it all the information you think you're giving it, and then it creates a person with 3 arms, or it creates a person with like 2 arms but a sword coming out of their head, or like a gun.
It looks like the end of Terminator 2.
It's so stupid. Some of that stuff, even the little things I was trying to create, like vehicles and other stuff. It's like, well, what happened to the seat? How did it grow a 5th wheel? Like, where is it? Stuff like that, man. But no, that's about all I did. I just, I'm off obviously every other Wednesday when we do this, and so I kind of can just piddle around for a decent part of the day. And so yeah, that's really about it, man. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of nice.
Yeah,
while you were sweating.
Those. Yeah, while I was out there sweating in the sun.
Hard at it.
Sweating in the hot sun.
Yeah, right.
We got a few people watching. Let's go ahead and say what's up to the chat before we get too far along. So we got Triple D's dungeon. He changed it back. No, he didn't. It's triple. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's Triple D's. Yep, still Triple D's. Okay. Yes. I was looking at it. I looked at it and it looked wrong because I was thinking Daredevil Dave in my head and reading it wrong. So yep, Triple D's dungeon. Got to get the first light. What's going on? Crusty old crow. I just saw you a few minutes ago, I think,
Crow
on
Daddy.
another channel, man.
Crow Daddy.
I'm here. Now I'm here. Before I was not here, but now I am.
He must have been watching the Power of the Force stream and probably jumped in and then jumped back and then maybe, back and forth, whatever. I get it. Hey, why not?
he was. I did see him there, and Dave says, does that mean sold his soul to the devil? If that's the case, do I own the crow? And does he feel like a little bitty worm on a big fucking hook?
Wow.
Menjosa's here. What's going on, man?
Yes.
Menjosa. Let's see. Derek Holloman in the house. What's going on, Derek Holloman? Oh, wait. Ha, I fooled you all. I was no longer there, but have reappeared here behind the chat.
Tee-hee.
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 Tee-hee. Oh, let's see. The collector's here. What's going on? Collector.
Hell yeah.
Creates a dude with 6 fingers. Yep. Some six-fingered.
That's AI for you right there.
Yep. Yes, it is. Crimson Cobra Commander is in the house. What's up, Triple C? Let's see. Todd Cadmium is here. What's up, Todd?
Yes.
Todd C.
Yes.
Tony's Figs. What's up, all you
Tony?
Hookers?
What's
going on? Tony, brother man, how you doing? So I think it was Crimson Cobra Commander on the last stream, and I got to do this now while I'm thinking about it. When we were talking about Five Below.
Yes.
When we were talking about Five Below, and it's talking about the shirts. This is a Five Below shirt.
Shit.
I actually found I found an extra large, and I'm like, yeah, that looks like that might fit. So I got this Pretty Fly Ice Cube Boys in the Hood shirt, and this is a Five Below special. It was $5.55.
Hey, now that's a price that I can get behind.
I've only washed it the once, but so far so good.
Yeah, and we sometimes it's like concert T-shirts. You're like, oh, that's an extra large, and then you put it on, and it comes to your belly button, but the sleeves are really long, and you're like, oh yeah, the sleeves are right, and then you put it on, and then or you wash it, and then the sleeves are all the way up to your shoulders, but the shirt's down to your knees. That's what happens when you buy like concert T-shirts. They're sized all kinds of whack.
And this one, so I stand up, but my issue with this one will be that it is way shorter than what I like my T-shirts.
Okay.
But it's not too short. I just like I like big shirts. I like big shirts that. And you
cannot lie.
No, cannot lie. You'd know if I was lying about that, because it looked like 5 pounds of sausage in a 3-pound sack. So.
You don't want a medium?
Yeah, no mediums there.
Okay.
No
man,
I'm not pumped. I'm not pumped. No mediums.
Oh man, shots fired across the bow of that USS Flag. Shipwreck. 7 shipwrecks in the water going down. Mayday, mayday.
Man down, man overboard.
Overboard,
bitch.
There was a time.
Here. What's up?
Oh, Viper Scout, what's up? There was a time that we could fit into a medium, right? Yeah. In our lives at some point in time, and those days have been long, long, long gone. I could probably fit into a medium from the shoulders to about right under my boobies, maybe a little lower than that, and then from there it just becomes a big piece of fuck all. Is what it is.
Be looking like Ripper with the midriff shirt. Let's see. Joe Fest 2023 shirts or the Joe Fest.
Okay. All right. So I need sizes. I need sizes.
Even the dates.
I need sizes. I need to know who's going because I'm trying to work up a little ditty. So I got to figure out who's going, and I need sizes. So let me know.
We'll get all that figured out
ASAP, mind you.
So let's see. Looks like see if anybody else is filtering in. Yeah, Dave, I knew they got some good shirts. My problem is like the sizing on them. Like they don't they have very few extra large shirts and no 2X. I've never seen a 2X in Five Below, and that's usually what I buy. They have some pretty good shirts though. Like half the ones that I like though, like as high as they go, is medium. Like I'm not gonna fit in
Yeah, it's. I mean, even myself might have trouble trying to dig something up, honestly. And
there.
I mean, at this point in my life, I usually hit a extra large, but even then, like depending on the shirt, right? You find one that you actually want, and they don't have anything close, But then all the shit you don't want, and they've got every size, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Where is he at? There he is. There's that fool. What's up, Dreadnought?
So
K6
Dreadnought
in the house, buddy. What's
K6.
going on? I see a little Shane slipping in here too at 8:19 p.m. Shane, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? I know what you're doing. I know exactly what you're doing right now, Shane.
Sitting out
Um,
in that garage chiefing.
um, so yeah, Five Below. It's like, to me, they all fall in the same category of like your Ollies and your Ross and your, I know five. So yeah, Five Below. It's phone chargers and cables and like just knick-knack paddywhack shit, right? Like it's just, and then they have toys, right? Of course they
They've
do.
got, dude. That's
But
that's where the teeny tinies come from. That's where
right,
that stuff's at.
right. So it's so funny to me because it's just one of those stores that just has a little bit of everything, but none of it is really expensive and or
Yeah,
quality, I guess you could
a lot
probably
of.
say.
I've got two phone chargers that are still holding up. They
Still
got a lot
working?
of, yeah.
Okay.
They got a lot of import candy in there though. That like a bunch of Japanese stuff, like all
Oh, yeah, I
the
got you.
they got a bunch of that stuff. They had. I tell you what, man. Everybody likes those blind boxes and the blind bags. They got more blind bags in there, like a different kind of shit. They got so many blind box, blind package, whatever things in there for just about everything you can think of. And I'll tell you something that I did see in there that I was gonna go back and buy, and I still may. So, the Jada toys, like the Street Fighter. We know Jada's doing the cereal mascots right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Yep.
getting
Yep. Yep.
Tony the Tiger's out right now. They did Chester. I got Frankenberry over here is the only one I've seen.
Matthew was
Um,
showing off Tony the
yeah,
Tiger last
uh,
night on our stream.
yeah.
Yeah, it
So
looks great.
I did see Tony, so and I'll talk about that in a second. But so I was in Five Below and I was looking around and they got all the little mini figs and all that different little kitschy stuff, and I'm looking at them and there's some cereal mascots. And I was like, oh, those look good. And it was Honey Smacks and who else I'm trying to remember who else they had. I think they had Tony the Tiger. They had like three. And I was like, damn, those look really good. And I picked them up and I looked at them. They're die cast and they're
Really?
like metallic, and Jada makes them.
Huh.
So it may be an indicator of some other ones that they got coming down the pipe, but they're like
Right.
$5, but they're metal. They're metal minifigs, and they're like really nice looking metallic paint on them. So yeah, they're not with the toys. They're if you go on a Five Below, there's an aisle near the toys that's got a bunch of that blind boxes and stuff. They're
Right.
over there. They're not
Okay.
blind box, but they're near that stuff. So
Okay.
let's see. He said coke. No, no, not that kind of import.
La
So
Coca. The Coca. A couple more people slipped in here.
yeah, Clint
For sure.
Jorgensen.
Yep. 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 Yep.
We've Clint. We've talked about that. A show in person together is just making our schedules work to do it.
Logistics.
Yeah,
Logistics.
it's we're not but 25 minutes, 30 minutes apart at most,
Yes.
but we have entirely different schedules. So
Yes.
one day we'll see it. We'll get it one day.
Yeah, I mean, I have an extremely irregular schedule, and for a lot of people, that's something they just can't deal with because it's day or night, or you have a day off, but you work the 2 days prior to that, then you're off, then you work, then you're off, and then you work six in a row, shit like that. So my schedule's real weird, and your schedule's very consistent,
Yeah.
and not you don't always get home at the same time, but it is Monday through Friday, and it's kind of here to here range, and mine's all over the place. So it really is. It's trying to figure out what's a good day. Then I have my
Yeah. And
son
yeah, you
come
have your
over every
son
other
on the
weekend, and
weekend.
like
So
it depends on what's going on there. So yeah, but it would be fun if we were a lot closer or whatever. It'd probably be easy just to hop up and run over real quick, 10 minutes away.
yeah,
Set up a mic, boom, boom, boom. But it
we're
takes a
not
little
far
more than that.
apart. There's a
No,
lot of traffic involved.
yes,
Uh,
unfortunately, that's the
even though
problem.
in
Yeah,
if we could go on a straight line, it'd probably be like 15 minutes.
ain't no straight lines
Wraith
in
Mace,
Nashville.
no. Wraith Mace is in the house. What's going on, Wraith?
Yes,
How you doing, man?
yes, yes.
Uh, and Dave says the 112 barbecue. Yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
barbecue grill set is fire. I got it in the other room.
I got it over
Um,
here.
yep. See Tony the Tiger Force. Who was it? Lee. Somebody did that. Oh, it was Tony. It was Tony's Figs that did that. I think the Tony the Tiger with all the Tiger Force. I think that was Tony that did that picture. That was a damn good looking picture.
And I thought I saw a quick too. You had it up there for a minute with Crimson Cobra Commander.
Yep. Happy birthday
Birthday
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yep.
Happy birthday, dude. 46.
46.
God, I remember 46 like it was 3 years ago because it was. Well, okay, 4 years ago come September, but let's just go ahead and say three. Okay.
Yeah. Getting close to 4. So weekend day stream with day drinking involved.
Yeah, that would probably be kind of fun if we got a couple pops in us and we were in person shooting the shit with each other. We'd probably cut loose a little bit, and that probably would be fun. I ain't gonna lie, it
Yeah.
definitely would
Oh,
be
that'd be
fun.
fun. That would be fun. We had to get the live mics and clip them on, probably.
Yeah, yeah, either the lives or just kind of get it set up real, good and tight, and have it all there. But that's a lot, man. People don't realize, like, have a streaming setup unless you stream. Like, actually having a setup or trying to put the money into it and all that kind of stuff. It's actually a lot more than I think a lot of times people don't think about.
Yeah.
I know I didn't really until I started looking into, like, okay, well, this would make this easier and this would make this easier. And well, let me get these lights. And then next thing you know, you're buying all the ring lights and all the other shit, and finding a camera and the mic. And
Yeah.
it's like, and it
Adds
kind
up.
of gets out of hand a little bit,
Yeah.
to be honest with
It's
you.
out
When
of
when
hand
you
quick.
when you watch YouTube channels where it's somebody that's basically just in a bright room with their blinds behind them, and they're just recording and they're using their iPhone, and it's like they do a stream like that or they do videos like that, and it's like, well, shit.
Yeah, and ain't nothing wrong with it at all. And then
No,
you
not
look
at
and you
all.
watch it, and you're like, "Damn, that's good." And then you're looking around, you're like, "I got all this shit in here."
I
Like,
see plenty. I see plenty of videos like that. I mean, they 20,000, 50,000,
yeah,
180,000 views. You kidding me? No,
yep.
you get all this stuff, and ultimately at the end of the day, it's a toss up, right?
Um,
You know.
Viper Scout, it was Toy Optics. It was Spec. That's who it was that did that picture. With the Tony the Tiger with Tiger Force. That's
Oh, okay,
who it was. It
okay,
was
yeah.
Spec. So damn, more chess, 14-hour days.
Woo,
Yeah,
son.
well, and here I was complaining about standing in the sun.
Well, them 14-hour days ain't too bad when you got a couple people working for you. I'm
Yeah,
joking, of course.
yeah,
But I did talk to Scott a few days ago. We kind of exchanged a couple stories about hiring people or having people work for you, and he had a story that I've heard many, many times before,
yep.
which is hard to find good help sometimes. That's for sure.
Show enough.
Mr. Magus is
Um,
in the house too.
oh yeah,
Um,
he is. There he
yes,
is. What's
he
going on,
is.
man?
Absolutely.
There's Mr. Magus. What's going on,
Yeah.
man? Wraith May says the company he buys his Joy Toy Warhammer from has dropped the prices by more than 60% to accommodate
Wow.
the tariffs. I was going to cancel like 3,000 in pre-sales before they did that. Well, they did that for you.
Wow.
They did that for you. It's
Just
for you.
just
It's
for him.
all for you.
That's interesting though.
Yeah.
That's the opposite, right? Like that's the goodwill gesture. That should be the goodwill gesture of the year in the toy community, if you know what I mean. And it probably won't even get talked about hardly at all
Yeah.
because there's not, and the reason I say this because I don't know who all's buying Joy Toy. I know Wraith Mace is very well into them, but like compared to a lot of the other sellers out there, manufacturers and stuff. Um, but that's an extreme goodwill gesture. That's wild.
Yeah, that's getting profits. That's got to be towing the line right there. 60%. That's it's got to be damn close.
I mean, just saying, hey, look, I mean, that's the opposite of like, hey, we're gonna just arbitrarily throw out this 8% or this 4% or this surcharge. Like that's going the opposite direction. That takes a lot of balls, man. Like that,
Yeah,
to do that. But hopefully that'll pay off in the long run for them. I
yeah.
really hope so because that's
Well,
a really cool
then
move.
they're not gonna lose any customers. That's for sure. Ain't nobody gonna
No,
be like, "Well, I'm
absolutely
out."
not. Yeah,
When you do
absolutely
that,
not.
and I've got another got a screenshot gonna pull up here in just a little bit. That's kind of not. It's not the opposite of that, but it's 45 degrees from that. So,
Okay.
Viper Scout says he picked up 4 more skid marks for his skid mark sub team army. What are your plans for those, or do you have plans for them? He just stockpiles skid marks, and I just
See,
wanted to say that.
I've picked up probably 4 more skid marks, and I had to throw them draws away.
Yeah,
You couldn't even
tossed
wash
him.
them. Couldn't even
You know,
wash them. Just had to
after
toss them, man. That's what
after
happens.
after 3 or 4 days, it's just like shit in the trash with them bad boys. So, Warchaz got 4 guys working for him. They're days
Oh,
behind because of the tornadoes, trees down.
man.
Photos from tornado over the top of Panera Bread. I think
Okay,
that is.
cool. Yeah, I'll take a look at those, man. If you posted them, especially, or if you sent them, but I definitely want to look at that. Yeah, I
I hope
bet
they didn't get the Fakasha.
Tornadoes are a bitch, man, because I worked with a tree removal service in like 2016. A friend of
Hmm.
mine needed some help, and I worked with him, and we had a lot of major storms come through that summer in Nashville, and there was an entire neighborhood, and I swear to you, there was maybe 1 or 2 houses that didn't have a tree down
Yeah.
in the entire residential like area subdivision, and we were, I mean, dude, that was work for like weeks. It was insane. But yeah, it's hard work. That's for sure. That stuff is hard
Yeah.
work.
Cutting them trees, moving them trees, especially when you got a precarious way that they're laying on or near a structure. That tree work is some hard work.
Especially if you have to hire a climber, or
Oh yeah.
whatever, depending on what you need to do,
Yeah,
removal wise.
them dudes take some risk. They make some money, but I mean, they're getting that hazardous pay. Um, let's see, Triple C Joy Toy turtle figures look amazing. What I've seen of them does. Just read through the chat. Mr. Madgus introduced the grandkids to Animaniacs tonight.
Hell yes,
I never
dude.
watched Animaniacs
Oh my
really.
god. Oh my god. Animaniacs. That stuff. That's one of those cartoons where like for kids because there's action and obvious physical comedy, it's great, but for adults, there's stuff that goes way over the kid's head,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's doubly as
I've
funny if you're an adult.
I watched it. I just didn't like follow it. And Wraith said he's going to go back to editing. So have a great stream. Thanks, Wraith.
Absolutely,
And I
get
do
her
have this
done.
other. I have this other comment from Wraith Starred. So he had just had to pay $1,100 shipping for
Mm,
his Gray Knight's armor that he's having built. So
mm.
Yeah,
Ton.
so that 60% off is really gonna help him out.
Offset.
Yes, Operation Frankenberry. I can't wait. I'm not gonna spill all the beans on that, but I can't wait to see how all of that comes out. War Chest, and if you need any copy written for any of it, subcontract out or a character, let me know. But War Chest got something hilarious that he is doing with, as you can see, Operation Monster Force Frankenberry.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
Delta 17 in the
Hey,
house.
hey,
What's up,
what's up?
Steve? How you doing? Yeah, we are on every other Wednesday, Steve. We do 7's Wild. We're here with Pop Blender. And then on the opposite Wednesday, I'm on with Krusty Old Crow. And then every Tuesday, Pop Blender has show on his channel with Matthew Matson talking about pop culture. And then on Sundays, he does a stream that you would probably really enjoy called Unfiltered. And boy, is it.
Yes, it is.
So thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Hazard Bait, Crystal Ball. Oh, let's see. Trying to get through the comments. Pinky and the Grunt and the Brain. I didn't watch it that much
I
either.
mean, we could. That's the thing, like, right? Like talking about any of them old cartoons, and if you didn't see Pinky or Animaniacs, maybe, I mean, there's and then a bunch of the Adult Swim stuff. I mean, it's like we could spend 2 hours
Oh
just
yeah.
going through all the animated stuff
Well,
that we used to
Animaniacs.
watch, or in our kids,
Yeah,
teens,
yeah,
20s, 30s.
yeah. Animaniacs come on in like what, like 90, like 91 or
Or
something.
early 90s.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd
something like
have to,
that.
dig it up to be sure, but yeah, early 90s for sure. I mean, that's, uh, yeah, oh my gosh. Um, the Adult Swim stuff, there's a lot of stuff there too that I like to watch, but some of that stuff can be a little over the top, a little
Yeah.
weird. Like there's some that's like really weird and strange and like, comedy that's not for everybody. Um, but I loved Tim and Eric, great show. That was one of my favorites. That is some of the weirdest stuff you'll ever watch in your life.
Yeah, we talked about that not too long
Yeah,
ago. I never did
yeah,
get into Tim and Eric.
yeah.
Um, Triple C has a question for Steve. Does Delta 17 have 6-inch figures yet? I know the answer, but Steve's listening. I will let him put it in chat. Viper Scout says it was more like 95 on
Yeah,
Animaniacs.
I think I was out of high school by then. I think
Yeah.
when it came out, I'm pretty sure. But I've always loved animation. I've always loved cartoons. So I've watched, you know, animation really my entire life, actually. I mean, then you'd have, The Simpsons, which came out before I was out of high school, right? Like my freshman year, 89, 90s, whatever.
89.
And then Family Guy, right? Then Futurama, and then you start getting into the stuff that when Cartoon Network and Adult Swim, and it's just like, and so I've always, let alone the DC animated stuff, because I love that stuff, all that DC animation, all the Batman stuff, the
It's funny how
Justice League stuff.
the DC animation is so good, but the live action is so bad.
It's weird, but that's the thing. The Marvel animated shit is not good, right? Most of it's not, but the live action stuff for the most part was really good for a long time.
Oh, yeah, it's like it kind of just flip flopped. So Steve says, not yet. We're considering it, pretty deep into what we're doing right now. Almost overextended with what we're doing. The new wave, Hellstorm, and the Hind helicopter. I can't wait to see how that comes out. I know you guys were looking at some sculpting for that, needing a little bit more sculpting done. So I can't wait to see that Hind 3 3/4 Hind helicopter that they got coming out, Delta 17. And the Hellstorm's coming. That thing's going to be badass. Let's see. All right, so we talked a little bit about going to like to seeing the Jada figures and stuff. So I went in Target
Oh
on
yeah, yeah.
Saturday. Got up. We had a family thing we were both at on Saturday, and before I went, I got up and had to run some errands. Had to go pick up my comics, and had one Target that I wanted to go to because at Target is usually banging, but it's either all or nothing. It's banging with a bunch of stuff, or absolutely it's a wasteland. But I probably had more luck at that Target than any of the other ones. So I went in and they had this dude. I got picked up
Yeah.
Sagat. Didn't have Blanca, but they had one Sagat. I snagged him. Um, they did have the Tony the Tiger and the Chester Cheetah. Had both of them, and then they had the two NECAs that I want, which is Pee Wee and the Count. They had the Count from the Sesame Street line. They had all this shit on Saturday, and I did not have the budget for, like, I thought, if I got lucky, one of those things would be there, and they had them all. Man, it's like so I grabbed Sagat, and I had to leave the other stuff. So I actually got a chance to go back to that Target today. I was working in that near that area, and I don't usually work near that area. I hardly ever get to go in Target. I got a bunch of
Yeah.
Walmarts in my area, but no Targets. So I took the opportunity and I went back in there. I'm like, well, maybe they've got some more Street Fighters in. And was like, I had a chance, so I'll run back in there. And they didn't. They hadn't replenished them yet, but they had two counts. They had three the other day. They had one Pee Wee. They had three of them, and all of the cereal dudes were gone. The Chester Cheetah and Tony. They had a whole peg. They had like three or four of each. They
Yeah.
had two pegs. I think they had four of each, and they were all gone. And I was looking at, like, Pee Wee or the Count, Pee Wee or the Count. I'm like, I didn't buy either one of them. It's like I need to wait. I got some other shit I'm going to talk about that I don't know what's going on with, so I had to wait. So I think they'll probably be easy to get. I want Pee Wee, man, to scale with some Joe figures.
Yeah, that's the one that Park was talking about Monday night, where
Mhm.
some people are saying, "Hey, it doesn't look that great," but then when you get it in hand, maybe it looks better. Like the likeness of him, I think was part of that conversation.
Yeah, it looks better in person.
Okay.
Like the pictures, it doesn't look as much like him, but all he's got like three head sculpts. All three of them, they do look like him in person. Um, it, I need the bike. Yeah, he
You,
comes with Terry, the pterodactyl.
yes. I mean, come on, man. Like at our age, and most everybody in here, like I know I watched that show.
I watched
I
the
know
hell
I
out of
watched the
some
show,
Pee
and I
Wee.
sure as hell went to the theater to see the movie. Large Marge. Oh my gosh. Like, that
Large Marge
and
sent you.
and and it's so funny because there's so many one-liners in that movie too that are so good. But yeah, I mean, he Pee Wee was absolutely hilarious, and talk about somebody that's able to parlay really a character that into a children's show, really, but was not that kind of like children's actor or educational,
Yeah,
like a Mr. Roger, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Like there's a lot of stuff in
yeah.
in that
I mean,
show, and
Pee Wee
especially
did
in the
not
movie.
Pee Wee did not start out as a
No.
comedian for children. It was a character that Paul Rubens did, and it just got so popular.
I think he was in a movie called Joystick in like 1978 or 79, if I remember right. And it's a classic late 70s, almost like a boob comedy movie, like a Porky's, and he plays like himself in that movie. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I'm almost sure that he was in that movie, and he looked, I mean, crazy young.
Joysticks.
Called Joystick. It was about an arcade, and it was just that classic old kind of, them old comedies that they don't make anymore. that was super cheesy. It had
Yeah.
gratuitous booby shots just for whatever reason or another. Uh, I could be wrong, but I just remember him being a movie that revolved around an arcade, and he played himself. Uh,
Got it. I've got it. I pulled it up. I'm looking to see if that's the one that he's in.
as IMDb, I don't know if it's not joystick or something. It doesn't really matter.
No, I was just curious. I don't think
Oh,
it's
okay,
joysticks.
yeah, yeah. But
He's a
he
good
started
actor, man, or
he
was a good
started out in
actor.
like a lot in the in the late 70s
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah.
So, but anyway, no, that figure looks really cool. I mean, all those dudes, all the cereal box dudes, all the mascots. I mean, we knew that. We knew that when we got shown them, right? When they started coming out, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Oh
that
yeah.
looks
They gonna
fantastic.
blow up.
You know?
The only one I've found, like, well, I mean, I found them too, but when I was looking, I got Frankenberry. I don't have Count Chocula, and I really like Blueberry. He's my favorite, and I had to order him online. He's not hard to get. Mr. Magus, what are these suited figures with weird heads and a toilet? That's Skibbity Toilet.
Oh no, there.
That's
Oh
what.
yeah, oh
Um,
Skibbity. Yep,
that
Skibbity's
it,
coming.
I can't speak knowledgeably about Skibbity Toilet. It is some shit for this new generation of kids. They
There's lore and
started
everything. There's lore.
there's now
There's oh
lore.
yeah,
It's a dude that started them as YouTube shorts, and they caught on and went viral, and now there's a bunch of them. They're still shorts, but they've
absolutely.
developed lore. He's got all this licensing. I watched a video on, I want to say, the infographics channel about about Skibbity Toilet, and it tells like the dude that created it, and like how it come together and what it started out as and what it's turned into. It is a juggernaut, and it also tells you how much money he makes per day or per week off of the licensing for it now.
Yeah.
And you talk, going back to the beginning of the show when we were talking about wishing, you could work without working. Um, those shorts don't take much to make, and that dude is making, he's making tens
Oh
of
sure.
millions of dollars
Oh yeah. Yeah.
on that
Absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah.
But
No,
that's what it is. Um, I think some of it might make good background stuff though, but it's kind of expensive, I thought. Box better be a fold out playhouse. It is the door that he
that's cool.
comes through at the
Yeah.
beginning, like the with the angular like sawtooth, and like, you can just see his head, above the
Right.
top. That's the
Right.
flap on the box. Crimson Cobra Commander's got a good question. What other mascot would you want? So say you got two.
Hmm.
They're doing Fred and Barney. Fred and Barney are coming.
Okay.
Um, I would say,
Golly.
so I suggested I give this one to Crow last week. It was a Dig'em Frog.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's cool.
Dig'em Frog would be cool. And honestly, I'd like to see in the vein of the ones that we've got now, Tony and Frankenberry and all of those.
Yeah.
I need Captain Crunch. I'd like to
Yeah,
see those
actually
two.
that would be pretty cool. That would be that's a good design. Like that's a
Cap-
really good design.
Captain Crunch would
Um
be a funky figure.
Man, I don't even know because they're almost all covered. Like it's hard to sit there. Every time I think of one, I'm like, oh no, I think there's a figure for that. I think they've done that already. You know, what like the Lucky Charms? What about that dude?
No, they hadn't done him. He'd
Yeah,
be a
man,
good one.
the Lucky Charms dude.
Lucky, he'd be a good
Uh,
one.
you know,
Toucan Sam was one of those little figures that I was talking about a few
okay,
minutes ago.
okay,
One of them was Toucan Sam, and one of
okay.
them was Dig'em.
Um,
Loves Mules is in the house. What's up, Cubs?
hey, what's up, sis? She's been whew, a little
Hope you're
sick, a
feeling
little under
better.
the
Still
weather.
been
Yeah,
under the
no
weather.
kidding. Yeah, got to get better. Got to get better. Um,
Lawrence Fishburne was Cowboy Curtis on Pee
yep,
Wee's Playhouse.
yeah, Cowboy Curtis. Nice get up
Like a
too.
high, make a honey ho.
Man,
Oh
that's
yeah.
it's so funny because like, and I know we're totally off on this weird tangent right now because we're not talking about toys or whatever, but kind of
Well, we
sort of we
kind of
are. But um, there was a period in my life where I started watching Pee Wee's Playhouse, and then I got to where like I started high school or whatever, and like Pee Wee's Playhouse became like, oh, that's like at
yeah.
that time to me is like, oh, that's kiddie stuff, if that makes any sense. It's like one of those shows I kind of left behind on Saturday mornings. I stopped watching.
Yeah.
um but also, for a long time I didn't have anything to do on a Saturday morning, and when I started school my freshman year, I had marching band contests and stuff to do. So it's almost like it's a part and parcel with
Yeah.
actually not being able to watch TV on Saturday mornings, or, whatever, having to get up and be gone, something like that.
Yeah.
So kind of goes hand in hand. But yeah, that was one of the shows that I thought I was too old for. I got too old for that show.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time like you're talking about around that time period, like freshman, sophomore in high school. Even if you liked it, you weren't gonna be caught dead
You
watching
ain't telling
TV.
nobody.
You wasn't going. Somebody wasn't gonna call you that morning, and you gonna have Pee Wee on. You gonna be like, "Oh shit, I gotta turn this down before I answer the phone." Be like,
Oh
uh,
yeah. I mean, I was watching Saved by the Bell by then, They were the same age as I was. And Beverly
yeah.
Hills 90210, they were also the same age. So like when they were
Mhm.
freshmen, I was a freshman, and so on and so forth. So for each year of that show, they were like in the same grade as I was.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
still watch those. I remember watching those, but
I remember watching them. Mascots, Viper Scout says Toys R Us, Jeffrey the Giraffe.
I'm sure we've had, right, like Toys R Us exclusive figures from back in the day.
Well, I know there were
Um,
plushies. There were plenty of plushies
I
of
would assume maybe there
Jeffrey.
would have been one. I don't know. I don't know. I thought for sure when Toys R Us was operating, that they had made something. I would
Yeah, there
assume it'd
had to
be
be some Jeffrey figures.
right.
Um,
Um,
he was only in one commercial, but I'd like to see the black Keebler elf.
do we yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be
I
kind of
I would
obscure
I'd
almost,
like
right?
I'd
Like,
like to see all the Keebler elves, but yeah, give me that guy too. But I
do
don't
we have
remember seeing
Hamburglar and Grimace and the Fry Guys? Do we have those
that. I don't. I mean, probably just McDonald's
from
toys, but
McDonald's? But
yeah,
like, if that was one that
I don't think they license it to anybody.
probably not. I mean, I don't imagine.
That wasn't making it just for them.
Is there a Popeye the Sailor Man? I know it's not a
Yes,
mascot per se, but I assume there is, right?
yes. There's a new line of Popeye figures out that
Nancy?
NECA, is it NECA that's doing Popeye?
Okay,
That they
okay.
look
So,
maybe loyal subjects.
okay,
Either way,
let's go
it's
down this
good.
road. What about Bullwinkle? Or what about oh my gosh. I'm thinking about Sunday cartoons. You guys are gonna hit them. Beetle Bailey,
Oh, Beetle Bailey, good
Nancy.
one, and Sarge. Yeah,
Yeah, Sarge, and then what was the witch? Broomhilda.
Broomhilda,
I mean, this
Hagar the Horrible,
Hagar the Horrible, right? I mean, there's a whole like Sunday comics
Andy
line that you
Cap,
could go down, right?
Andy Cap with a
Andy
loaded
Cap.
beer.
He makes some great hot fries too, that's for sure.
Hell yeah,
I
he can
still
make some
get
hot
those. That's
fries.
some bitch. Chili Willy. Chili Willy was one of
Oh
my
yeah,
jams,
I
man.
love Chili
Yeah,
Willy.
War Chest hit it. Chili Willy.
We talked about Chili Willy
Chili Willy and Woody
and
Woodpecker
Woody.
went hand in
Woody.
hand, because they
Yep.
showed them in between, right?
Yep.
Felix the Cat, Heathcliff is always one. I want, you know what I want? I want the Heathcliff ball of smoke with where he would be fighting, and you'd have a claw and an arm here and a claw and a leg there and like something, and it's just a big ball with hashtags and oh yeah, hashtags all over it, and it was just it got an arm sticking out in there. That's what I want. That would be awesome.
Crow says we need the Marlboro Man and Johnny Walker. This generation needs its
I
real heroes
saw
back.
that. Hey,
Joe Camel. Yeah.
Hey, so I still have a picture of the Joe Camel sign from Times Square when I went to New York City in 1990 in high school with the marching band, and I took a picture of Joe, the big, huge Joe Camel sign. And it was not long thereafter, they ended up passing legislation to get rid of cartoons and stuff that promoted cigarettes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But definitely remember that for sure. Um, Super Chicken, damn. I forgot it's
Yeah.
Muttley. I mean, I'm thinking like just as far as like Sunday comics page,
Yeah.
right? There's so many through the years, and that used to be that used to be one of those things that you went for. If you was gonna grab the newspaper, if it got delivered to your house, I would go for the sports section and the Sunday comics, and
Yeah.
sometimes the entertainment section that had like maybe an
Yeah.
interview with a band or so, whatever.
I
But yeah,
grabbed those
for sure.
comics and entertainment. Love's Mules said you did the Pee Wee Herman on top of the bar at say
I
25.
I
Did you do
did
that?
that. I did
I
that
don't think I
at
was there for that performance.
you weren't. That was the I won that bar competition. And I spray painted some loafers white or dress shoes white, and I put the had the D I edited my music, and it came up the tequila song, and I got up on the top of the back bar. It was like an island in the middle, and I climbed up there, and I did the Pee Wee Herman dance with a bottle of tequila and a shot glass, and I did the whole dance on my toes, and I had dancing girls out there in the bar, and they were dancing around. There's like four of them, and then right when it says tequila, I flipped the bottle in the air and caught it upside down and poured a shot. And it was like tequila. And it was like,
Yeah.
I went, wow. My sister has that videotape. It's one of them little mini tapes, She got
Oh
it
wow.
somewhere. Yeah, she got
We
it
could
somewhere.
find an adapter. Maybe you could get that one transferred
Dang,
over. And
man, that was back in the day. That was like
yeah,
2006, maybe. I don't know, something like that.
it's been a minute.
2006, 4, 5, 6. Something.
Yeah, Dreadnought, Uncle owned the local bar, shitload of beer mirror signs, a lot of camel. Yeah, that's all the good stuff. I love that old
I was
the
at an
bar
antique
decor.
shop. I was at an antique shop the other day, or about a month ago with my son, and they actually had it was a pack of like 6 camel lighters, and
Yeah.
it was just you used to be able to turn in your camel points or whatever,
Bix or
and you could get them.
Zippos? Were they
They were
Zippos?
they were the butane refillables,
Okay.
and they were tall skinnies, and
Yeah.
it was a band, and it was like they were dressed up like the Blues Brothers. And it was like a band. It was like 6 lighters in a pack, and I was like, I remember that.
I think a friend of ours has that set. He collects Joe Camel stuff. And I think he's got that set. He's got
That's
a
cool.
Zippo display case, and he's got a
Yeah,
bunch of stuff like that in it.
yeah.
So people still throwing out some good suggestions
I
on
know,
their
I know. It's
mascots up
totally
there.
down a rabbit hole
Yeah,
here.
she's gonna find it. She's gonna look for it.
That's cool. That's cool. I can transfer it over to get a way
She's
to
gonna
to
look for it.
to do it. But
So getting back to stuff. Though I found that Sagat, of course, Maximum Spider-Man. Got that Green Goblin. I'm digging that Green
yeah,
Goblin.
yeah.
Dude is
Yep. Well,
he-
anytime it's like comic accurate or
yeah. So
love that.
they're gonna be
Love it.
battling it out. So and I found one other one that I sent you we both have been looking at that I showed you when I picked up, and that's this dude. I'm gonna tell a story. So
Yeah,
regarding
yeah,
this
yeah. It
set
looks
right
great.
here. So
Yeah,
I
nice
I'm going
cartoon accurate.
I'm going to Prince Adam there. So I'm gonna give one of our inside joke stories that we've had for years away. So with this set. So got this dude comes with Prince Adam. And I've always wanted a Cringer. And
Yep.
I mean, this set's been out for a minute. I'm sure you guys have seen it. You have it. Is it Target? It's Prince Adam and Cringer. I've been looking at it, and it was $30. And I knew it was coming out, and I just really wanted this Cringer. I mean, he's scale. Look how big Cringer is. So I was walking by on Saturday, and I just happened to walk by an end cap that wasn't in toys and had a bunch of clearance on it. And they had this 2-pack with Prince Adam and Cringer. It was $8.99 for this 2-pack. And it was a $30 set. So if some you guys have been eyeing, if you know it's out there, be checking Target because it's on clearance. But what I was going to say, one of the funniest things about this is an inside joke me and Pop Blender have had for years. Years and years. You know, we got almost 50 years of lore between us and jokes. So, of course, there was a time, much like what you were just talking about, when we wouldn't be caught dead watching Pee-wee anymore, that some of the stuff that wasn't our absolute favorite jam, like mainly G.I. Joe, kind of fell by the wayside, I guess, a little bit. You didn't think about it much anymore. You know, in your teens, you're kind of getting out of one thing and trying to get into other stuff. So
what's her name?
Yeah, exactly. So there was a time that He-Man and Masters of the Universe was not at the forefront of either of our thoughts. And somehow one day, and I think we were at your mom's house, and we got to talking about old cartoons and old toys and stuff that we had. And we were talking about He-Man. And I was like, man, but we never got a toy of his cat. I was like, what the hell was his cat's name? And I was drawing a blank and I couldn't think. And I'm like, what? I was like, was it Krigger? And he looks at me and he's like, it was Cringer. And I'm like, where the fuck did I come up with Krigger? So for ever since then, this has been Krigger for us. So I was walking by and I saw this on the end cap and I was like, $8.99. Krigger is coming home with me. So now I've got Krigger here. So.
And I mean, he's always been that. Like, that literally is like, because, like, you know, He-Man was cool, but like, and I had a lot of He-Man, but I wasn't really so much like such a huge super fan of the cartoon and everything. You know what I mean? And it's like, and even now, like I could remember some of the names of the people. I'm sure some of y'all out there know them all, right? Like you know them all. Even going, you know, for the line continuing on and on and on and on. But yeah, it's like, what is that? What is his name? Like, I can't even. Of course, this is pre-Google, folks. This is pre-Google.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're probably like, I was probably like Krieger. 12 or 13, and he's like 15. I was like, Krigger, like Cringer,
Cringer.
Like, oh, Cringer. So Triple C, I got the comment up. I just want the Cringer. Me too.
I could understand.
This is a fantastic Prince Adam figure, but I just wanted Cringer, and $10, I'd have paid $10 for just Cringer. So yeah, I know Shane had found it a while back. He's been on clearance at Target for a while, but none of the ones around here had marked him down. So yeah, moments like that. Trying to figure out a character's name, you need Bobby as a lifeline for trivia questions.
Right.
That's the truth.
Well, it's so funny too, because I mean, let's just say, all right, just for the sake of argument, that you and I didn't have that conversation way back when, and we, you know, and let's just say that we went all these years, and let's say this was like 4 years ago, and you posed that question to me, I'm not so sure I would have been able to tell you what his name was. Now, it's only been the last couple of years and seeing, like, you know, the toys and streams and stuff. But even like Panther.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that I'd have been able to pull that out of my ass, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. I really don't. Um, and even I get tripped up on Transformers sometimes, man. Like, I'm serious. Like, I do. The Joes are the one avenue I've got where I know for the most part I can remember all these dudes' names. Now,
Yeah.
some of the vehicles are hard to come by.
And some
Uh,
of the later ones, like the,
especially the ones we didn't get into.
yeah.
Right. And you know what? The collector, it is kind of funny, but like that almost does kind of somewhat go together with Tigger and Winnie the Pooh, right? And
Yeah.
Krieger, in a way. And I had a Tigger doll from back a long time ago. I think I did, or my sister did. Maybe I think maybe my sister did. I saw Matthew Matson pop up there talking about too many streams, and
Yeah. There's a lot tonight.
evidently there's a million of them going on.
There's a lot
So
tonight.
it is what
Well,
it is.
so I'm glad everybody that's watching this one is here though. So
Yeah, hell yeah.
hit that like button. I hadn't
Hell
said it
yeah.
yet. So
And especially if you're not here tonight because we don't have like a ton of toy news. There's a little bit, right?
yeah, we got a bit
Um,
we're gonna go over.
there's a little bit, and we have kind of a again a goofy little idea later on to kind of go over. That's always just fun to do. But a lot of times, man, like when we get to a Wednesday, occasionally we get lucky that Hasbro will break some news or they'll do a reveal on some Joes or a pre-order or, some renders might pop up, but for the most part, and I know everybody in the stream, I know y'all have seen a lot of this news. I know you've been at stream after stream after stream. And so sometimes for me, I do just like cutting up and reminiscing and like going down the rabbit hole,
Yeah.
like we've kind of done tonight. Um, just because I know that we've all seen all the news and we've seen all those links and stuff. We can go over, we can go over those Cold Slither ones for sure, if you'd like, and whatnot, obviously, and then the little bit of some Hasbro news that is old news, as of like a week or so,
Yeah.
or
Well,
whatever.
I put
But
that
yeah,
uh Dave said there's only one important stream right now, and
hey,
I posted a link to it. It's right
love it,
there if you guys want to click on that. It's
love it.
right there. All right, so I got some interesting stuff. So I got a question for you guys. Let me find the banner for it. So uh I'm gonna call this one pre-order del yay. There is so much shit on pre-order right now. There's so much stuff
Oh my god, I've got so much money out,
right now setting out
dude,
there.
dude, for
Yeah,
real.
if all this stuff shows up at once, I'll be spending some more of them hot ass days in the sun on Saturdays and Sunday. If all of it hits at once, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Go ahead. Get ready, prepare for a stream raid. Nah, ain't nobody coming over here from over there.
Hey, what?
Um,
Sorry, man. I just read Min Joseph's comment, and I'm
yeah,
fucking dying right now, man. I'm
I,
sorry, dude. I
I,
thought it was for real, and then I was like, I was about to type back. I didn't even read the whole thing, and I was about to type back. Was he like 2'7"? And then I read the rest of it, and I said, "Oh hell no." He done got me. I'm sorry, man.
no, wait, never. Remember that He-Man bad guy Webster? He got a
George.
spinoff about being adopted by his parents' best friend, who was an ex-football player. Wait, never mind.
George Papadopoulos.
Papadopoulos. I used to watch that back to back with Mr. Belvedere.
Oh shit! Yes, Mr. Belvedere, definitely.
Let's get a Webster fee. What if there was a Webster web store?
Webster figure. Give it to me. Oh,
A
a Gary
Webster.
Coleman and a Webster 2-pack.
Oh my god, it'd only be half price.
Different strokes it takes, different strokes.
It'd be half price. It'd be the price of
Sorry,
two
man.
for the price of one.
Two for the price of one plus $1. So this I'm sorry, man. I saw that and I was like, oh my God. Like, I can't believe he went there.
That
and he did.
That was a good one.
Oh, it's great. All right. What we got? We got a lot of money going out. That's what we got. You're absolutely correct.
So we got a lot of money going out. So regarding that and regarding some of the stuff that's going on right now, This showed up today, and I'm wondering if anybody saw this. This is from the CMD store. Um, they are not going to be shipping to the US right now. Uh, this probably hurt a lot of butts for toy tubers, because this is one place that a lot of
You can get
people will
early
get their
stuff.
figures a little bit early. It's up in
Yeah.
Canada. Used to be a secret, but the cat's been out of the bag for a little while. On CMD store, they usually get stuff 2 weeks to a month earlier than we do, sometimes even longer. So they posted this today, because of the uncertain details around the tariffs. Potential impact on cost and pricing is significant. They are just they made the decision to hold off on new shipments to the US till we have a clearer understanding of the situation. So I'm not we're not going off into a tangent about the tariffs. We got your opinions. None of us here 100% knows every single little thing that's going on with them. We know it's going to impact us all, at least for a little while, probably with more than just toys. I'm just putting this out there so people will know, if you are ordering or have been checking CMD store because there's something getting ready to drop that you've been looking for. CMD store is not shipping to the US right now,
Yeah.
till some of this stuff gets cleared up or straightened out, whatever you want to call it. So just wanted to throw that out. So pre-order Del Yay, their Del Yade, if you were going to get some stuff from there. I imagine if you already had it pre-ordered with them, they'll probably honor that like most everybody else, except maybe BB fucking TS.
Well, I mean, I said this Monday night. I chatted in Punk's Monday night stream. My only thing is that don't just throw out arbitrary numbers and stuff. And I know this is different, but my comment is just this: just don't throw out arbitrary numbers of percentages without being transparent with your customers and saying this is how much it's going to cost us. These are the breakdown. Just break down the numbers for people and they'll understand. If you're transparent, you break down the numbers, you say this is the deal, this is how much it's going to cost us. So I want you guys to understand this is the reason why we had to raise put an 8% surcharge or something like that. I think that would be fair to the customer so they fully understand that you are being transparent with them. Now
Yep.
this is a different ball game. I get it. But and I mean, look, not a seller I go to, or whatever, for me personally. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff swirling around, right? A lot of reactions, some of it overreactions, some of it justified, but yeah, it's interesting. And you said this come out today.
Yeah, this showed up today. They posted
Okay.
it today.
Yeah.
And I check them when I get on, and I try to keep up with pre-orders and shipping dates and all of that stuff. That's one site I always check. I always check with those guys. So just so you guys are aware, that happened today. So does anybody? Yep. And Tony, I saw Tony's comment on today when that was posted. So yep, there goes CMD store. Gonna be some early reviewers getting
Hey.
some heart butts.
Yeah, I mean, but what he's supposed to do. I mean,
Yeah.
And again, at least they're giving kind of this statement and just saying, hey, we really don't know what's going on, and we're going to kind of pause things for a minute. I would guess they won't pause for long.
I don't think so.
I'm just throwing that out there. I think that would be extremely detrimental, and I think maybe this lasts a very short time.
I'd imagine a whole lot of their customers are U.S. U.S. customers. So they ship. I think they ship their Canadian store, but they do ship from the U.S. But they have to get it over to the U.S.
Right.
I think they keep most of it here, but it's got to get here. So that's the thing. So does anybody have any of these newer Joes coming out pre-ordered at GameStop? Anybody in the chat have any of these next few waves coming from GameStop?
I
Hey,
know, like I don't. I have all my stuff, from Hasbro, but I know that that GameStop, right, had shipping dates on some of these guys, like, are supposed to be coming out already, or are they supposed to have been out already?
excuse me, damn
If you
sinuses,
don't like
man,
the
they're killing me.
subject, you can change it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's fine.
Yeah, they're my sinuses. No, oh, wrong banner. Let's
Oh,
go back to
trust
that
me,
one.
I understand. It's this
Yeah,
time of year.
they're
Yeah, it's
killing me,
awful,
man.
awful down here.
So let's see. I
Yeah, April 10th.
am
I remember that, Dreadnought. I
yep,
remember seeing that notice of like, hey,
April 10th.
shipping out April 10th. Well,
Just
here we are on the 30th, right? Today's the 30th.
just the retros.
Hmm.
BBTS
Hmm.
Pulse, Dreadnought. Yes, April 10th. War Chest canceled his.
Once they
Have
bumped
you
the
looked?
price.
Have you looked at your? Well, they didn't bump them if you already had them ordered.
Oh, I thought you was talking to me. I'm like, nah, I ain't looked at shit because I ain't got no
Yeah.
notices. I got no notices
Um,
on nothing.
so anybody that's got them ordered, have you checked those pre-orders? Because I went ahead and ordered them there because of this. Because April 10th, the firefighter was April 10th, and Frag Viper, Dark Lawn, all of that wave was April 10th. So I don't know if you guys have looked at your order lately, but I'll show you what it says on mine, and I don't understand what is exactly going on with it. Screenshot on mine right here. So this is what it says on mine. Um, Preparing for shipment on Blowtorch, Dark Lawn, and Frag Viper. Now I got this email, or it's not wasn't even an email. It was just looking at my orders on the site.
Yeah.
And I sent this to you, Pop, a few days ago,
Yeah.
and then right after I sent it to you, like the next day, it went back to what Dreadnought says right here, uh, pending awaiting item. It went from this back to pending awaiting item, and I checked it today, and now it is back to preparing for shipment. Now, I think this is somebody entering some wrong information somewhere, but April 10th, they have had April 10th. They've had that date on their stuff for this wave, just these and the firefighter for a long time. And they did not move their dates back like some of the others did.
Yeah.
Amazon, a couple of the others have moved their dates around. So I thought it was weird that my order screen looked like this, and then it went back to awaiting item, and then it's back to this, and it is also for the firefighter. It's preparing for shipment on the firefighter. So both of these orders that were all April 10th, once April 10th passed, they never moved the date. It just went from the pre-order banner went away, and of course now everybody's ordered them there, and they're not available anymore to go and pre-order. But the banner never changed, the date never changed, and if you look them up, it doesn't have the date on there anymore. It just says new, which is once the figure's released, it
Okay.
has the little new on it.
Okay.
So I don't know what's going on with GameStop. I don't know if they somehow got them early. I don't know what is going on with them, but mine has changed from this back to waiting, back to this. And so I did this screenshot on the firefighter. This is what it said before: your items being processed and packed for shipment. I have
Right.
not gotten charged for any of these yet.
Yeah, that's the key, right? Like
That's the
that's the
key.
key. Yeah, if you If you haven't gotten charged yet, they can put whatever the hell they want on that message, man, but it don't mean shit because they ain't
Yeah.
sending shit until you get charged. They,
So I just everybody, if you've got these guys ordered it at GameStop, like just keep an eye on it because GameStop has been the first, in the last 6 or 8 months, they've been the first ones to ship. That's why I started ordering shit through GameStop. They had Maximum Spider-Man and Green Goblin. Their dates were sooner than everybody else. They were, I think, Spider-Man was the day and Goblin is Friday, I think. Um, but it was just on this wave and the Firefighter. So like the retros, all of those are still August. They've been August on here. I just thought it was strange that this one wave and the Firefighter were 410.
right.
410's come and gone, and it just says new. Like they didn't move anything. So I was gonna like not share this, but like, yeah, I don't want to gatekeep it. It's not like anybody's gonna go order it and get it ahead of time or anything. Like anybody, if you're gonna get lucky, you've already got it ordered. So yeah, we'll see. I just wanted to bring that up. I thought that was weird. So just that they did that.
Shit's been weird for like a while now. Just all over, hasn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
whether it's
Oh
been
yeah.
Hasbro or whatever, it's like you know, dates, the whole dial tone fiasco. I mean,
Oh man.
just multiple, like and then you can't trust any of these dates. You can't trust
Nope.
any of it at all. I mean,
Nope.
tariffs, take the tariff part out of it. Just the dates alone, like whatever projection or whatever you can't trust any of that shit.
Nope. Not at all. And Dreadnought, that's where I got dial tone. That's where I got my dial tone. I got my dial tone from GameStop. They had him up twice. I missed him the first time, and I kept checking it, and he went back up, and I ordered it, and he came in like 4 or 5 days later, something like that, and he was gone, and he's actually gone from GameStop. He's not on there
Yeah,
anymore.
no, that whole thing is just an absolute disaster. I don't know, and you're not, you're never gonna get any answers,
No, no, you won't
no
ever
matter
hear
how many
nothing.
like interviews that they do or small channels they go on, or like you ain't getting nothing. You ain't hearing
Yeah.
shit about it.
So, but I haven't. Dre Knox gonna check his charges. I haven't been charged. I've got them PayPal, so I hadn't heard anything.
You know,
Uh,
it's I saw that right there, and I'm curious what the issue is for Todd C on the HasLab there. Um,
yeah, the HasLab. I'd like to know. I
Me
have not
too.
heard that.
But Mendoza
Haven't heard that.
also said, Walmart sending out wrong Joes. That's that whole thing about where they'll send you a comparable
Yeah,
selection, right? And you have to
you
kind of
have to.
finagle that. You got to uncheck or whatever the
Got to
box or
make sure
whatever
you
it
check
is.
no substitutions.
Right. No substitution and all that shit. And like, yeah.
Yep.
That thing is definitely throws, of course I'm sure he probably knows that, I assume, maybe not, but
Yeah,
yeah,
you
they
have to
tried that
uncheck
shit with
that.
me one time when I went to I'm trying to think of what it was. I was gonna go pick it up and couldn't believe it. And I was like, oh, they got it in stock, I think it's a retro card of some
I
kind,
think it was
whatever.
Retro Crimson Guard.
I think it was. And then they said it was in stock. I went up there even, right? Couldn't find
Yeah.
it. Didn't see it nowhere. Wasn't on no end cap or nothing. I asked the dude about it, whether it's in store. And then I canceled it because I knew they was about to send me a fucking Lady J. I knew it.
Yup.
I was like, I ain't,
You
no,
get a
we ain't, we
carded
ain't,
Lady J.
we ain't going down that road.
So that's happened, man, to a lot of people, and it was then when you had to realize that you had to check no substitutions on this shit, and
Right.
it quit happening because it happened to me too. When I think it was Retro Crimson Guard. So like when I got my retro Snake Eyes and Zartan or Storm Shadow, whichever one, like I couldn't believe it was actually them. They actually
Yeah.
sent them in there. So Yeah, it's all crazy. We've been talking about it for forever, but I just thought it was odd that GameStop, who has been sending some stuff first, had those dates on it, and right now it just still shows them as new figures. It doesn't show them as being pushed out. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get lucky. Let's see what else I had here. Let's look at some Cold Slither. What do you say? And go
Yeah.
over them real quick. So, I know everybody's seen these. We'll just go through them kind of quick and give our thoughts on them. So here we got the whole. We got a bunch of buzzers, three different buzzers. To use Zartan, you can see all of them right here. You get the drum set, you got the keytar. Yeah, what is that? Is that another keytar? Yeah, I think so. Unpainted
Yeah,
keytar.
I thought that was kind of weird, like, but at least you got a couple guitars. I don't know exactly what the two, keytars. Maybe there's not. It's not two, right? It's just showing you like a mold and
Yeah,
then painted. And the drum set, I'm a little. That can't be all the pieces, right? Or
I
if
hope
it,
not.
because I don't understand its function. I know it's not going to look like that either. I'm sure it's going to be set up kind of properly the way they've shown what it was going to look like. Um, I will admit though, I'm quite unimpressed by being a drummer. I'm quite unimpressed by, and I'm hoping that's not the final cymbal stand with cymbal because it looks super like wonky,
Yeah,
weird.
it looks pretty kind of janky, don't
Like that symbol looks like it's been beat the hell up. I mean, which makes sense. So it's fine. It's all about the finish, and the whatever paint finish. But and that drum right there is not finished. That big drum. It doesn't have the silver rim around the top of it or the bottom. The one with the three legs.
Oh, here,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that one. That one's not finished. So I think this is early for sure. Obviously, heads, but um, I saw in uh, Punk's chat Monday night. There's a lot of people that are like, "Hey, I'm passing." Like I'm
Yeah, it
passing
looks
on
like
this. I
there
don't
are.
need it. Don't want it. Not for me. And I could understand based off of seeing these images, but I don't think that was what that was based off of. I think people just kind of decided, "Hey, I'm not. I'm good." But I remember more chess saying, "There's no microphone."
Yeah, and
No,
there's no
no mic
mic.
stand, no mic. That's really weird.
There's no
Obviously,
mic.
that's something that you could probably rectify on your own for those that like to do custom stuff, or like how we go buy the barbecue set, right? It's got
Yeah,
hot dogs and hamburgers and a grill.
yeah.
Same deal. You could rectify that yourself if you truly want to, but it is a little strange. That it's like,
Well,
well, where's the mic?
I
Where's the
know
mic stand?
somebody mentioned, and it might have been Shane. Somebody had mentioned that some of those the wrestling figures that I think that some of the AEW figures are showing up at Ross for like $4,
Don't some have
and
mics or something like that?
one of those guys comes with a mic. There's a
Yeah,
bunch of those
yeah,
wrestling figures that have a mic, but um, I it should come with one. Finding an easy fix for it is beside the point. It should have a mic.
yeah. No, I mean, I'm really hoping this is an extremely early because, like,
I
you
think
can.
it is.
I mean, look at the cymbal stands; they're bent. The
Yeah.
top of
Well,
the top of the hi hat stand is like bent at the top. That shit bows out right there
yeah.
to the right. Like it bows out. The cymbals look all jacked up. Look
Well,
at the keytars are bent to hell. This
everybody's
is
like, oh,
all.
they're all gummy, they're all floppy, they're gummy
That's
right here.
what it
Look,
looks like.
this dude this is an early ass prototype. You seeing the unpainted right here, and then a painted one. That's what it is. So this is an early ass prototype. This I think all this shit's gonna get worked out. I think we're beyond a lot of the gummy plastic. So I don't think this is gonna be the final on it. Um And just another shot of that drum. Yeah, it looks like shit. I mean,
See, the problem is though, man, is for the price. There's a lot of people that probably do not want to take a chance on it being looking like that.
yeah,
Right now, I'm with you. I mean, I think this is some early shit. I think the drum will get finished. There's still more paint to go, paint apps, that kind of thing, and whatever. Hopefully the cymbals will get flattened out, and they're not, very very pliable. Like the guitars aren't, super pliable anyway. But I can understand that if somebody was like, yeah, 125.99, I'm probably gonna hold off on that. I mean, I could understand that decision. This
yeah,
this is one of the ones. How many of these have we seen in the past where we've seen these early renders where they looked kind of as janky as some of this does? Is it I don't remember. Is it very regularly? I mean, I know we see a lot of unpainted heads and we see,
yeah.
bodies and shit like that. I'm just trying to think of if we've seen like the bent pieces and like that you could just tell something's not quite right there.
Yeah, all the paint. It looks like some of the paint and stuff on the cymbals just don't.
I,
I mean, I think this is just early factory samples on this
yeah,
stuff, is what it
yeah.
is. So through the chat here, Menjoza is their price. They haven't announced a price, and I doubt, unless it leaks, I doubt they will before time. I think it's going to be 124.99. Is my thoughts. That's my
Right.
thoughts on it. You got your $25 figure, and then another 25 for the fancy box. It's a convention exclusive. They do really good boxes for the convention exclusives. So I think 124.99. Before any tariff bullshit, like take all that out of it. That's what I think. I hope it's not more than that. I do want it. Dreadnought says it's not as
I,
popular as people make it out. It was one episode.
Sometimes things like that though have a life of their own and they just
Yeah,
take off. You know what I mean? They just take off and it's like, yeah, that lore or that one episode or that one character that's not like a recurring character and it's just something that, that shit takes off. People love it. They fall in love with it. I'm sure people do Cold Slither cosplay at cons every year and the whole 9 yards, right? So I could get it. I fully understand.
yeah.
Let's say hey to Turk Murphy. What's up, buddy?
What's
Uh,
going on, sir?
Good to see you. Yeah, and then I saw here, I'm thinking, look, over 100 because I don't think you're going to get that many figures and accessories like that for under $100. I
No.
just don't think that's possible. Uh, and regardless of whether the instruments, seeing the instruments, I think you're right. I do think this is kind of early prototype. These are not official Hasbro release pictures, right?
No.
So, this is kind of somebody laying this shit out. We don't know what conditions these were in. And I mean, bottom line is you either want it or you don't. The instruments ain't gonna sway you one bit or
Yeah,
the other. It's
yeah,
either you're all
that's it.
in on this or you're all out.
There,
And there's no in between, in my opinion. I just feel that way. I will tell you, having played drums, I really, really, really appreciate the microphone hole in the bass drum head. That is, I know some people are like, it gets in the way of the logo,
yeah.
but that is a real deal Holyfield. So, I'm like, that's cool. That's a nice little detail that I personally like because inside of that hole, you know what would be? There'd be a pillow laying inside there.
Yep. And what's funny is there's that attention to detail that they put that in there. And Lenny was in a band. Lenny's big into music. We
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
that on Punk's show with him. How do they do this level of detail to do that and they don't give a mic?
Well, and
That's
see, those are those we brought this up before. Those are those questions sometimes we ask, and of course we're not going to get answers
we
for.
never know.
And then if you wanted to ask, some people will try to talk shit to you like you're being an asshole.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, that's a valid question. It's like, there's a checklist. Am I right about that? Like, there's just a
Yeah,
checklist that you
cost it
go
out.
down
Yeah.
and you just go, okay, you know, we got this, we got this, we got this, we got this. Yeah, of course, your cost part of it. But I'm saying just from a design aspect
Oh
of
yeah,
saying, you know, okay, you know, we got to
necessity.
have guitars, we got to have the drum set, right? And then, you know, we need the either a keyboard on a stand or we need the keytars, whatever. And then it's like, oh yeah, motherfucker's got to sing out of something. You know, he's got to
Yeah,
sing
what's
through
he?
something. So that would be on your checklist, you
I
know,
would think.
to me.
And you know what? I people can say what they want about this right here, but he's got a microphone. Say what they want about the Super
That's
7 version
that's
of this.
interesting. Yeah,
He's got a
holding
microphone.
the cordless.
Got
You
the
know,
hold on. He's got right there. He's got the mic.
I just figure that, you know, a mic stand because they really don't have. I mean, the drum stands, you know, the cymbal stand and that, you know, those are really the only stands. I mean, a mic stand with a mic on it that you could clip off, it's not too terribly tough, I would not imagine. The
Yeah,
guitars look good though. I like the guitars.
I like them as well. I
Again
just
though, they
uh
do look bendy. They do
oh
look
yeah.
bendy.
I want to, before it gets too far buried, war chest comment here. I think you and I would both be all in for
Oh
that set.
shit, 100%. All
Red
in on
block
that one.
Macondo, flower shirts, and a red rocket burger
All
playset.
in, baby. Give it
Yes,
to me.
sir.
Yep.
Um, Menjoza, do you think they'll bring Cold Slither in at 99 after seeing the instruments? No, because these ain't the final tools of them. This is just these are they ain't gonna be like this. All the weapons. When's the last time we've seen a really gummy weapon? They've said they were gonna fix that.
That's
They
that's
did.
something they've done a good job with, of course. Yeah, that's something they've
Took
done a
them a
good job.
while.
Yeah.
Took them a while.
But you
Um,
know, it just depends and uh yeah, I don't know, man. Look, I don't know what goes into making toys, man. You know,
yeah.
I don't know about plastics and shit. I don't know. I really don't. So I can bitch about it all the time, right? But like ultimately at the end of the day, I really don't know what truly goes into the process and the molding and the you know, the tooling and shit. I don't
And
I have no clue.
and I know Steve's probably not here because he's not telling us. Unless Steve probably bailed out because he could answer those questions.
Yeah, no, without a doubt.
Let's see. Crimson Cobra Commander question for you guys. Do you think the price of HasLab will go up this year? Do you think we'll get a smaller vehicle like the Mobat for a standard? Well, there really ain't a standard. They've held it around 300. It's been on all sides of it. It's been 274. It's been 299, and
299.
it's been 324.99.
Yep.
I still think they're gonna go big, and like I don't know what this talk for another stream that we're probably gonna have coming up is HasLab. Speculation that was a big thing last year. There's not a whole lot of talk about it this year, but I don't know what a Mobat or a Mauler would be. Probably around 300. The ramen one is not that much. So they would try to figure out a way to put lights and shit in it to raise it, I think.
Yeah.
So but to answer your question, no, I think it's going to go up this year. I think it's going to be more. I still say I think it's going to be the whale. That's still my pick for what it's going to be. Maybe right, maybe wrong. Now I know I can see the signs pointing toward a tank, toward a Joe tank because of the tank smasher patch with the rattler, right? That could have been a hint. I could be wrong. But if it is not a whale, I think it'll be a mauler.
I would
But
love a
I but
mauler.
either way, I think it's gonna be more than 300.
Shit, I'd love a mauler. I ain't gonna lie.
Um
I mean,
try
I'd
to
love the whale too. You know, of
yeah.
course, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of
Um
ready for that bucket tank.
let's see. Well, I got the hunter ordered. I got the ramen one ordered, and I'm gonna be disappointed if it is a tank because I've got the ramen one ordered.
Oh,
So
well, yeah. See, I don't
um
have that issue.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Collector, it's such a tricky thing trying to order this shit from them. The app is a piece of shit. You know,
Yeah.
are you able to get to a computer or on your phone and jump on the, Chrome browser or whatever browser you choose and try to order it that way or whatever? And then if you get held up, you got bad cell signal, Wi-Fi, and all of a sudden you miss out, and 5 minutes later you can't order it. Like that's some real shit. Like it really is. It sucks.
Yeah, it's jank,
Absolutely
man.
sucks.
I I I I uninstalled the app, so
That
straight
app
up,
is so
I just
fucking bad. Oh my
I'm
god,
using.
so
If
bad.
I got to get on it, I'm gonna use data either way. I know the damn website works, so I uninstalled it.
Yeah,
Um, let's see. Yeah, art on the guitars is good. Um, let's see. Yeah,
yeah, they
use those
look good.
pants on
I like it.
Zanzibar.
I dig it. Pirates of Dark Water
I don't
pants.
need Zanzibar. I don't. I do not need a Zanzibar figure.
I remember when I got that figure too. It was one of the last kind of incoming ones that I got. I think it was in that last year or so at least.
Yeah, 80 was it
Oh,
88 on 88, 89 on Zanzibar.
88, I think, on Zanzibar. Yeah, I'd rather have a Mauler than a Mobat too, for sure.
I am more partial to a Mobat, but the Mauler is a better toy.
Yeah,
Because I didn't have the Mauler, I had the Mobat. It was one of my first Joe toys, and I
yeah,
just have good memories of it. I love Steeler better than Heavy Metal, but the Mauler is a better toy. It makes
yeah.
more sense to do a Mauler than a Mobat.
Heavy Metal was one of my favorite figures. His gun was awesome,
Yeah.
and he had the 5 o'clock shadow, didn't he?
Yep.
And the black jacket, the green pants, right? And he just looked like a badass. I loved using that figure even without the Mauler tank. He was a guy, I just loved his look.
Oh yeah.
He was one of my favorite like figures like that, even though he was a
Yeah.
driver.
He's a some of the drivers are some of my favorite figures, man. I
Oh
love
yeah,
heavy
no, for
metal,
sure.
even if I
But he
didn't
was I
have,
always
didn't
always
have
like
it.
yeah, I always liked that dude. Definitely. And his gun was the shit.
Yeah, see, that's one thing. I need a heavy metal so I can have Saw Viper mow him down.
I thought he
So
was talking about the music.
yeah, pretty much. It's all. I think all the real stuff has moved to Iceland.
I don't even know what's happening in music anymore.
I'd like to see a Steelers
I,
figure.
I would
You
love a
mean
Steeler.
give me a Bradshaw?
No, I would love to see a Steelers figure. I have couple Ben Roethlisbergers and a Terry Bradshaw that I paid for. They're kind of like that, or whatever, but
Yeah, that shit.
I've got them
No,
packed
Tony
up.
Romo.
But I did order the Transformer Pittsburgh Steelers helmet that transforms into a robot. I did pre-order that. I think
They
that's
didn't
awesome.
push those very hard
Not
either.
at all. Not at all. But I
Those
did I did pre-order it because I'm a sucker.
and I told when I saw that, I had sent that to you. I sent that to Pop Blender, and he's like, I already ordered it. And then I
I
said,
already ordered it, man. I
they sh-
already
they
had
sh-
it.
they should have made the Cowboys win a Decepticon.
100%. 100%.
Oh, let's see what I got. I got some other stuff I wanted to talk about real quick. Let's pull up
Talk
a wait a
about
minute.
pop
We got to get
music. Talk about.
we got to see. We got to get through the rest of these real quick. So there's Buzzer with his regular hair, and then he's got the mohawk. He's got these glasses that I,
Goggles.
I hope they are actual goggles,
Goggles.
but I
Gaggles.
don't think they are
They
because you can
don't.
see a gap back
Yeah, they
there.
don't. Damn it.
So, wish us luck. That's going to be Ripper's hair, I think.
Oh, I thought that was another hair piece.
Yeah. This is a 70's cold slither groupie figure. This is an accessory. This is this is actually an Ewok.
Wicket.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh, and I think that's the last one that I saved. So this looks good. The
Yeah, it's
swappable hair looks
fine.
good.
Yeah, sure.
So we'll see how it comes out. I want it. I want it. So we'll see. We'll see how it comes out. So let's see. Captain America Starbuck. What?
Yeah, I know. I hate trying to
Okay.
freaking chat on
Okay.
a damn
Look.
phone, man. I swear.
Yeah,
I
I
do
can't
that. I
do it,
do
man. I
that.
hate it.
I mess it up all the time, bro. It's so bad.
Yeah. Get them Mel Gibson lethal weapon
That is,
her.
that definitely is, man. That 80s kind of metal haircut. I played with some guys for years, a couple brothers, and one of the brothers, he still has that haircut. And this is going he was a little older than I was too, so he's had the same haircut since probably the mid 80s, and he still has it like that classic 80s metal haircut. And
if it
he's
ain't
pretty.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it, baby.
Yeah, no, he is unashamed of it. This brother, he wears a fanny pack, and he keeps like guitar picks and
Is
a
this
Swiss Army
Greg?
knife. No, this is John, and
Okay.
he's got the acid wash jeans and like a studded belt, and he got a fanny pack on, and he got the metal hair, and I mean he's lived the life, bruh. He lived the life, and he's his whole all this time. Every time I see him, I'm like, "What's up,
That's
John?"
awesome.
Oh,
Lunchbox Killer is in the
what's
house. What's
up?
up, man?
I like that
Is
pic.
he said, is that hairpiece also a pet?
Man, there's been times I've wondered. That's all I'm gonna say. It doesn't look
Hmm.
real sometimes.
No.
It might not be.
Demon, Destro, and the spoiler. Yeah, I don't. So this is something we're going to talk about. Probably next show. Is how we already saw this so early. You know,
Yeah.
like we're all the speculation on what's the SDCC going to be. You know, whatever. And so
Yeah.
they revealed it way early, like 3 or 4 months early. So, um,
Yeah, taking a lot of steam out of it.
if we get Destro and the Despoiler, probably PulseCon. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. So I want to show this right here. This is 3D Joe's Carson Metaxas. This is the new Kickstarter he's got going on.
Carson
Um,
Materis.
yeah, let's hope not. Um, so
That's so stupid.
if you watched my Toylanta video, I talked to Carson and he tells us all about this. Gives a little commercial about this. This is the new Kickstarter he's got. This is the field guide for Real American Hero.
So is
It's
this a
three.
pocket guide to take
It's a
in your
pocket
pocket when you
guide.
go out to a flea
Yep,
market or a con or something?
that
Yeah.
is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Um, and it's got so the first volume is loose figures, which is the one that I'm the most interested in. So this is the one I'm gonna back this one. I don't know if I'm gonna back the set or not, but I do want this one. So that's exactly what it is. He had it in his back pocket and pulled it out, so you can go through, and each page it's got all of the figures, accessories, checklist is volume one, and then volume two is the file cards. It's got all the file cards in it. So if you're trying
Right.
to collect the file cards or variants, or you just want to know, hey, was that a peach card or a white card or whatever, that will be in volume two. And then volume three is all of the packaging. It's got, I think it says they're 54% of life size. It's all the same types of scans and high res stuff that is in the omnibus. So this is going on, I think, until May 17th, I believe. It's on Kickstarter, but it's just something good to go and to back. Carson is a pillar of the GI Joe community, and everybody that does any kind of GI Joe stream or anything, like at some point you're going to wind up using 3D Joes as a reference. We do it on here all the time. Me and Crow do it. So that's going on, and I've got the Kickstarter page right here. 17 days to go. So he has hit the goal. He's doubled, more than doubled it.
Oh yeah.
81,000 of 36. So looks like it's going to get made. So that is good. And you can go down and you can back one book, or you can back all 3 books. One book is, I think, 35 a piece. Yep, 35 a piece.
Yeah.
Or you can back all 3. The all-in set is 90. I've seen the book. If you're out flea markets, yard sales, stuff like that,
Right.
trying to find figures or whatever, trying to ID figures, is something handy. But Carson makes good stuff. You know, he does a project, he puts his heart in it. So if you go to 3djoes.com, all the info is there, and it'll link you over here to the Kickstarter. Let's see. Trying to look on here, see what we got going on. Yeah, we will never know, War Chest, why they didn't use the QR code to send you to a page and a file card.
Them motherfuckers are dumb. I don't know who's in charge of that shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know who is in charge of that part of the whole process. I'm sure it's divvied out to somebody, whoever their marketing person is, or whatever design. I don't know, but like that, for them to not even at this point, like make it
be a priority.
Make sense. Like, just make sense.
Yep. Should be a priority.
It's like, come on. Like, it's just like their app being a piece of shit. Like, you have money, hire someone to fix your shit.
It is something that should have been. It should have been a priority since the Cobra Island wave. At least that's when they knew this line was gonna take off. They should have made that a priority. I do want to say, Triple C, good night. Thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Have a good night, buddy.
Needs the charge. You have a good night, and have a happy birthday tomorrow, buddy.
Love that picture too. Yeah, happy birthday, man.
Have a good birthday. Eat some cake from me. Matthew says, I have the file card poster he did. Been waiting for the Rolodex of file cards, volume 2, which is the Rolodex. Don't know if I need 3, but yeah, that's me. Like, I really just need the figures, the file card poster. It's in front of me. I've got it. It's right here. I got the all-in set on the posters when they still have some of them left. So good stuff, man. So if you're going to back and support anybody, like Carson is somebody that definitely is not going to screw anybody over, and you're going to get what you pay for, even if it's got to come out of his pocket.
Right.
The omnibus is a work of freaking art.
Yeah, it's cool as shit. I didn't pick it up, but you know, at the time, it's just not. I mean, I just don't have any. I don't have any need for it, to be quite honest with you. But it is cool as shit. That's for sure. I mean, it is.
Yeah, it's just seeing all of the art, and I mean the high gloss pages, and there's a lot of info in it too, like info.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The artists, the different packaging and stuff. So it's not just a bunch of pretty pictures. So it's funky. It takes up some real estate though.
It does, man. It really does. But it is. I mean, it's super cool. And the thing of it is, the high gloss pages in that, they actually make it worth your money as opposed to the comics.
Yeah, where you get 8 pages of comic for $5
super high glossed comic with half a story in it. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I have it. The collector number 1138. which I wish was stamped on the book. That's the only thing
Oh,
about it
okay.
was I wish that each copy was stamped with the number. But
Tony.
yeah, go get that shit.
Yeah.
Go
I
get it.
said,
Go
no, I
pick
don't
it
really
up.
have a need for it. He's like, yeah, you do. Go
Yeah,
get it.
yeah. Go get it. Get that book.
I may pick it up. I don't know. He'll probably have it at Joe Fest still, plus this, right?
Well, the omnibus, I don't know. I'm
It
trying to
wouldn't
remember if he had
surprise me.
copies. I'm trying to remember if he had copies of it at Toylanta. I think he did.
I would think so.
Well,
I
I mean,
mean,
it's so heavy. It's a lot to move.
and you know, it's also a bit for a lot of people. You're gonna sell a lot of them, but you also may end up where you've still got some, right? You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
you go around to the different cons and stuff, try to unload.
Yeah, that omnibus, man, it's worth it. It's just even as a centerpiece for
Oh,
stuff to
it's a
have
huge, it's
out.
like a coffee table book.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, a big coffee
Uh,
table book.
let me look and see. I think that was other than our main thing. I think that was mainly what I had to go through. So, all right, I am going to go take a quick break and hit the banyo and hit some more coffee, and I will be right back. If you want to
What's
entertain the
a
masses,
banyo?
and hit the banyo.
What's a banyo, man?
Go hit the banyo.
You
Oh, there's
go do your thing, buddy. So
there's
okay, there
Triple
we
L.
go. Don't remember
Who
seeing it
doesn't
at
remember seeing it?
Toylanta or
I don't remember.
Oilanta Tea. Is that we're doing
Oil,
Pig Latin now?
oh my god. I never could understand that shit. Uh,
Oilante.
oh man, them girls talking like that in school. God, it's like what the fuck are you saying? So yeah,
Oh shit!
it's heavy as shit. I've got
Oh,
it.
it's a big some bitch.
Mine's behind the hiss on that top shelf. I have to go
Hmm.
get like a 3-step ladder
Oh
and
yeah,
set
yeah.
up and move shit
Right.
and try to pick it straight up to move it when I want to look at it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's huge. So all right, I'm gonna give you full screen. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Don't play any WWF.
Nah, I ain't doing that shit, man. Hell, I can't play nothing on my own channel without getting struck anyway.
They
Sucks.
so the last stream when I took a break, we were talking about WWF and Roddy Piper, and he pulled up a clip of Roddy Piper clocking Jimmy Snuka with that coconut, and
Yeah, shit is awesome. It was a nine
by the
second clip.
by the end of before I went to bed, I had a notification that it got copyright claimed, and I'm like, what? I was like, I'll look at it in the morning. And I text him, told him about it, and I looked at it in the morning, and it said it's copyright claimed in certain regions, and it
Yeah.
is a region in Russia that it got copied. That's the only place that it blocks that clip is in Russia, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
I don't get
it's
it.
not a strike. Fuck it, I don't care. I will be back in just a moment.
Yeah, take your time. Whatever you gotta do, buddy. Just get on with your bad self. Um anyway, yeah, blocked in Russia. I've had like 3 or 4 things blocked in Russia too. It's the only place I've ever had any videos blocked in, like Sony or Warner Brothers or something like that. But I've never gotten a strike or nothing. But I have gotten claims. It's a good thing I'm not monetized. Eric Thurman, I believe that I'm actually big in Japan, but it's only because I'm actually a lot taller. They're actually pretty short people. And so I'm kind of head and shoulders above in Japan. Just facts. I'm just being honest. Um, anyway, yeah. So what we got? Retro toys that we're gonna make futuristic. That's our thing tonight. But I did want to talk about, and I know you guys know this, the Star Wars and Marvel license. And I wanted to bring this up because it reminds me of the Madden video games. And EA Sports has this monopoly on the NFL license and the Madden games. And the Madden games suck ass. And they have for like 15 years or more. And there's no competition. So I was actually quite dismayed that Disney would re-up this. I'm surprised Hasbro would re-up it, truthfully, but we'll talk about it in a minute. I want to get his thoughts on it. And then, did any of you guys see the World Class Bullshitters video, the most recent one? Um, that dude does some really good stuff. I love those toy hunt videos, the Ollie's videos where he goes out and just shows the mountain of Wakanda Forever figures and the Rose Ticos and all that shit. I love those videos, man. Dude's pretty good. They done some pretty cool comics too, actually. But I find it fascinating though that we probably will see, I swear to God, 10-year-old Star Wars figures at Ollie's from the sequel trilogy. They'll be there in 2030. I guarantee it, they'll be in there in 2030. Let's see here. Yep, can't play that. Can't play that clip. Damn it. Toy Biz X-Men. Really? Toy Biz X-Men, huh? Well, let's take a look. All right, then. 90s carded, Eric? What are we talking about here? 5th edition Wolverine? Ooh, that's funky. Come on, add to the stage. What about this little fella right here? Look at that funky shit. That's wild. Ooh, thrusting knife action. Oh, I'm a fan now. That's automatic, baby. I'm in. Uh, growing up, I definitely had the X-Men figures, and I can't remember who it was that made them. I don't know who it was that made them, but it was those classic ones that were definitely from the comics, the comic look figures. Because I had Cap, I had Wolverine, I had Magneto, I had like Storm, I had a bunch of them. But I can't remember who it was that actually made those figures. Um, and I know you guys probably know. I'm sure you could correct me or tell me or whatever. But but those figures, man, like from probably I'd say late 80s, something like that. X-Men. I don't remember. But I love the ones that are based off the comic looks. I don't like anything that's really based off of the movies. Um, let's see here. Maybe I can find them real quick since I'm just killing time.
Secret Wars.
It might have been. It's where are these?
What's up, Eric?
Because I had a bunch of these dudes. A bunch of Marvel figures, like, and they were not super articulate at all. Like, not super articulate at all.
I think that's the Secret Wars because you had quite a few of them.
You're probably
Doctor
right.
Doom, Captain America.
Yes.
Black suit Spider-Man.
Yes, oh yeah, especially that black suit one, dude. Yep, here it is. I'll show a picture. This is the one right here, the Doctor Doom and Doc Ock and then Kang actually.
Yeah.
And these are the ones right here.
Yeah.
Yep, the 84 Secret War figures. That I remember that Doom for sure with that leg band.
Yeah.
That's a rather sleek and sexy Doctor Doom. Look at that physique. I mean, look at Doc Ock. He's a fucking beast. Look at some bitch with his big old mouth.
Get ready to come and grin your day up.
But these definitely had these guys. 100%. Yeah, you're right. These guys were the jam, dude.
So that
There's
Captain
the
America that everybody's been showing lately, that's the new one. That's the Secret Wars. The one right there, it's on the screen. That Captain America. Yep, right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Go over two. Go over to the
Right
right.
here.
Maybe. That's the
Yeah.
new one.
Yeah, that looks fantastic. I love the broken shield look. That's cool. That Iron Man, I had this Iron Man. Like, I mean,
Oh
pretty
yeah.
much a lot of these guys. They're only showing, unfortunately, they're only showing like these right here. But I mean, I had a ton of these sons of bitches. It's interesting. I'm surprised that they don't pop up a little, a little bit more. But yeah, I love those ones, man. Those were some badass figures back in the day. But you're right; they weren't super articulated. You basically just had,
Four
maybe
five
four,
POA.
yeah, yeah, at best, head left and right. Legs at the hip,
Mm-hmm.
and then the arms at the shoulders. I mean, that was really it. But anyway, yeah,
They
super
made a
cool.
badass Legends made a badass Doctor Doom in that supervillains line that Jigsaw is in.
Uh huh.
There's a
Yeah.
Doctor Doom and he's like in a white costume, like a white outfit. I
Okay.
don't know what it's from. I'm for sure it's from a comic. I don't know which one, but
When I
it looks good.
when I come back from hitting the head, I want to bring up to you something me and Matthew brought up last night. And talk
What we
about it.
talked about earlier.
It's not it's
Okay.
not what we talked about earlier, but I did want to share this real quick too. And I had this Lex Luthor. That
Oh
Lex,
yeah.
I had that
I remember the
Superman,
Lex.
yeah, or not that Superman, but yeah. So Tony is like, yeah, you remember those superpowers. I had a lot of the superpowers. Definitely this Lex, Superman, Batman. Yeah, these were the jam too, man. They were awesome back in the day. Love those figures. All right, cool. I'll be right back, buddy.
All right.
Give me two shakes of a lamb.
Yeah, he had a bunch of that. I had a few of the Secret Wars. I had a couple of superpowers. I was never a huge like superhero guy, but I mean at that age, we got all that stuff. I remember he had the Batmobile would had the flip up like the triangular lights. He had that. I think he had the Superman jet with the punchy fist on the front of it. Why the hell Superman would ever need something like that, I don't know. But I think Pop had that, and his buddy Troy that lived down the street from him, he had a bunch of that shit too. Troy had like all of them superpowers. Yeah, but they're McFarlane though. I know you love your superpower stuff, man. I'm just messing with you. I saw some today. I saw that the Hal Jordan with the bowl cut, the Guy Gardner. I saw that one. Um, what else did I see? It's some of the new ones like that wave. I saw all of that wave. That Target that I was talking about earlier, they had them. I'm trying to remember what the other one was. They had the Batman, I think the 89 was the which one's newer, the 89 or the Bell? I had that one. I can't keep up with him. He really does make so many of them damn Batman. And I see Punk talk about them. And Tony, I see you do your pictures with them, but I can't keep up with what's what. I did see Power Girl. I did see, and it was the platinum. I know there's somebody that wants that. Yeah, we had like an assortment, like me and Pop Blender had. It was mainly Joe's, but we played with everything. Like we had those superpowers in the Secret Wars. Like he really liked the Chuck Norris Karate Commandos. He had a bunch of them. I liked the Rambo, the Freedom Force. Of course, we had them Transformers, all that stuff. Yeah, Punk hates the big pins. He can get these nuts. Yeah, he does not like pins. I don't like them. I don't like them, but I don't mind them as much as like Punk does and other people. I know, Tony, you're a customizer. I know customizers are really big on the pins because it makes them so easy to swap out. I don't mind them. Like I showed the Green Goblin, the Goblin reissue, and he's pinned, and I don't love it because they're really really noticeable, especially the legs. This is one that I hope that they kind of update the body and just change the construction. But this is a dope figure. But I wasn't gonna not get this dude because he's pinned. Um, I needed this. I needed this comic goblin in my life, especially after getting Maximum Spidey up here. I needed him to fight Spidey. I'm gonna get Hobgoblin too. I gotta get Hobgoblin. I got Green Goblin. Might as well get Hobgoblin. But yeah, like when we were kids, the superpowers and stuff, those were big, man. I was always a Marvel guy more than a DC guy. My brother was a big DC guy, but I mean he was too old for any of the toys, but he didn't care about none of that stuff. But I'm trying to remember. I know I had Captain America. I think I had the Iron Man. I had Black Suit Venom. I had Doctor Doom because I love Doctor Doom. Everybody says that, but he's not minimum on articulation, and that's what I wanted. Like I don't, you say what you want about the accessories. They're good. They're just kind of like they need a little more thought put into them. But I got no complaints on this figure. This figure is badass. Um, this Maximum Spidey figure, to me, I think he was worth the price. Do I think they could have got away with doing it $5 or $10 cheaper? Yeah, I think they could have. They could have done some different stuff with the accessories. But it is. I don't know if you've seen one, Tony. Like, I don't know if you've had one in hand, but it's really fluid, moves really well. There's not really anything you're not going to be able to do posing him. I'm not interested in Hulk though, like the Maximum Hulk. I got no interest in Maximum Hulk. Crow and I talked about other stuff that they could do, like what they could use this buck for. Like the first other thing that come to mind was Daredevil, and I think they could, kind of slightly change this. They're going to be able to do Black Suit Spidey in this, so probably classic Spidey with the light blue. I'd have rather had that, but I'm good with this one. Oh, I know Pop was talking about. Oh, there he is. He's talking
So
the uh, Hasbro and Star Wars.
yeah.
About that.
So I wanted to ask you, and I can't remember if I don't think I got it for you years ago. It was when my son was, I think, pretty young, if I remember correctly, like 2 years old. So it was like 2008 or 2000 or 2010, 2009, somewhere in there. Um, they had the What If, the Star Wars, that series where they had the white Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have any of those?
No,
Did anybody in here ever have any of those Star Wars figures where they did where Vader turns good, or
that was around the time they come out with they finally did the McQuarrie figures. I think it was around the same time period.
I don't remember what that series was called. It may have been.
I don't remember.
It was like
I'm still
Star
here.
Wars.
I'm just muting the camera.
No, you're good. You guys probably remember in the chat, but that I looked. I love that two set. It was Leia and Vader, and he was in a white costume. Let's see.
I remember.
Hang on, I'll find it. Yeah, right here. It's from they were like 4-inch figures or whatever. They were 2 packs. Let's see here. I'll pull one up and see. Vader, Leia, 2-pack. Yes, it's the Star Wars comic packs, and it was from the Star Wars. It was called Infinities. It was called Infinities. Here, I'll pull it up real quick. And I remember seeing this, and I remember thinking about buying it for you one year. Because Come on, fool.
Yeah, the comic. It was a comic pack. Yep.
Here, I'll just go to it.
I
See,
don't think those
he's in the
were
white.
around
He's got
much.
the
Yeah.
white. He turns good. It's like Leia that I think turns him good or whatever. Nice picture. But it had a comic in it from Dark Horse, and it was like these infinities. So it was these various stories they had that were like the Marvel What If, basically. And I
Yeah.
remember they were at Toys. I remember seeing them at Toys R Us. They had different ones, but this one in particular was. I just thought the Vader in the white suit was awesome, dude.
Yeah, it looks good. I remember seeing it, but I don't think they were like super plentiful. I don't think it was around long.
I want to say that I remember seeing them, and it was probably around like late 2000s, something like that. But I don't know, I didn't know if anybody ever was picking these up back then. If anybody was really collecting or not. But yeah, Star Wars Infinities is what the comic was, and it had these what if stories basically.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's see. And they were from different time periods. They were from different ones, I think. Like A New Hope. Yeah, so like this one here is like a different one. I can't remember what the hell it's from, but
it's
yeah.
not pulling up your pages if you're clicking on individual.
You know what? I gotta share a different tab.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so this one, like you can see like the different 3-packs from like the different eras down there.
Yeah.
And then like I'll share this tab instead. Let's see. There it is. This is what I wanted to share. So see like the white Vader there with the Leia figure. And I remember I was thinking it was around Christmas or your birthday, and I thought about buying this 2-pack for you because I thought this was just like super cool. But yeah, she somehow turns him back to the light side, and he lives.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I don't know if anybody ever had any of those, if you even cared. I mean, at that time, I think that I would dare say that I don't think collecting even from
That's a cool ass figure though.
Yeah. Even from us, I think is at that point is where it's at, today.
Yeah.
So,
Turks,
man,
they got real world problems. What figs do I put in my second dragonfly? Oh, some you already got because them other ones may be costing some more.
first world problems, man.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Do you want to go over the Hasbro and Star Wars stuff real quick before we hop into our
yeah
stuff? Because I know we were going to touch on that a little.
I know everybody's seen this, but I know you guys saw this last week, and if it was on live streams, then I was either working or I missed that part of the stream and didn't hear it or whatever. But so I didn't really come across this until like yesterday. And I saw the World Class Bullshitters video, and that's what turned me on to it. And I was really curious like about this because we see how many of these Star Wars figures that just pile up and don't get sold, and they just sit and then they end up at Ollie's, and you've got a million. I mean, who needs 8 Vaders and 4 Lukes and 7 Han Solos? And you know what I mean? Like, I know the hardcore collector of Star Wars is into having the different variations and whatever, Black Series and all that. What's up, Woody Triple Deuce?
Woody in the house.
But for me, it's like we've seen. I mean, look, even the lightsaber toys. I mean, it says here, like, under the extended agreement, they're going to continue to develop a wide range of products for families and fans of all ages that don't sell. Like, they don't sell. Like, this is
what families are buying them.
To me, if you're Hasbro, like, what's the sweet part of this deal for you? I mean, the Black Series, the Vintage Collection, it says engaging new generations of fans with lightsabers toys. Those lightsabers toys suck. Like, those things are terrible.
Yeah, the good ones are not the ones made by Hasbro.
I mean, and of course, obviously the Marvel stuff, I understand to a point, but even the Marvel stuff, since 2020 has taken a big hit because none of the stuff they've put out has really lived up to what came before. And so it's fallen off a cliff. So like I don't know, man. Like really wonder. And here's a quote from the Hasbro president. It's an honor to be able to deepen our relationship with Disney consumer products to create even more magical play experiences for consumers, around or across the globe. Um, yeah, Star Wars and Marvel provide an extensive array of captivating content, but it's not content people are interested in watching. They're not
Yeah.
even watching it, you know?
And
And
they damn
so
sure don't want toys from something they're not interested in watching.
I am like I'm honestly kind of shocked that they would move forward with this partnership considering the mountain of discounted toys that get shipped or bought from Target or whoever bought off of to go to Ollie's or however that process works in retail.
Yeah.
How are they going to make money off of this? Like I don't
That
understand.
I was thinking that maybe they were seeing, a way out with all of the cuts and all of the focus here and the focus there. And they were like, knowing this was coming up and maybe there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and then they jump right back into bed with them. I wonder if it's not a situation like like it was with Walmart in the late 80s and the 90s. Like they're so big and they have so many properties that you either have to do business with them at their demands or
Right.
their cost, their parameters, I guess, or you don't make it. Even though you're losing money, you can't afford to not partner with them.
I mean, I guess it's scale, like Woody's talking about here,
Yeah,
because what other manufacturer can do the volume? But my thing is like, I mean, if Disney going Disney, that's great, but the volume of toys they're making ain't selling.
there's too much
Lower,
volume.
yeah, lower your volume. Pull back on the amount of figures that you release. Like, I just don't know who this benefits other than the person who wants to wait for it to show up at Ollie's. And even then, it's a crapshoot because you're going up there and there's, you know,
Yeah,
Rivas and Roses and Rays and like, Bail Organa and it's like,
Holdo.
the holdo maneuvers. And it's like, ain't nobody buying that shit. Like, then what? That's why I said we're going to have 10-year-old figures in Ollie's, man. Like, just still taking up space. That's
Well,
crazy to me.
we talked about it when I went in Ollie's here just recently, and they still got Eternals. They got Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange
That's it.
shit.
Yeah.
I called you just to specifically tell you that I went in Ollie's, and I talked to Crow about this too. And I was looking at the Marvel stuff, and I was like, man, I was like, I just wish they dropped these a little bit, and they had a sign on them that said Black Panther 2 figures $4.99. No, they're all the Marvel stuff is normally $9.99. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh man, maybe they marked down, a couple of the, like, for background characters like the agent Jimmy Woo in the suit, and a
Right.
couple things like that. Like I might get a couple of them, and I got to looking at them, and it really was just the Wakanda Forever figures.
Yeah.
They'd gone back and repriced, and there's like
Yeah.
3 price tags on top of each other,
Yeah. They're
and sure
forever
enough,
collecting dust.
$4.99 Wakanda Forever at Ollie's.
I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, go get that Shuricopter while you still can in 15 years. I uh I just I don't know, man. I mean, I guess it is scale ultimately, and I mean, who else is going to sign this deal? I just
somebody
I don't know.
somebody needs to come up with some badass custom something they can make out of the Shuricopter, so the custom people will go and buy them all up at Ollie's.
So, I wish this thing I had charged it, Turk, But I bought my son and myself, so we bought two sabers, and they do change sounds. They spark. You can change the it can do like a the pulse, or it can be like Kylo Ren's lightsaber, where it's like got this constant like sparking kind of thing. Change colors. It has sounds, so you can select from like Darth Vader's saber, the Emperor's saber, Yoda's saber, all the different colors. I actually love this thing, but the coolest thing about it is these are made for dueling. Like they're made to
Yeah, actually
hit
made
against
to
each other.
hit together.
Yeah, and I've charged it up on occasion and had it on the stream in the background, but it needs to be charged up. But these things are actually a lot of fun, and they look amazing, and they can get extremely expensive depending on
Oh
the
yeah,
if you want the Neo Pixel one and you want one that looks like Obi-Wan's or somebody's saber, then you can, I mean, they get it's like $500, $600. Like they can get way up there. But they
yeah,
were doing a sale on these, and so yeah, like I was like, oh, I gotta have this, and we get out at night swinging this thing around, and it looks like it's
yeah. You
fun.
see, you sent me videos in the past,
Yeah,
y'all outside
yeah.
dueling with them.
Yeah, they look great. They sound great too. Different volume levels and everything.
Lunchbox Killer. Anybody know a good toy store in Colorado around Denver? Going there later this month? No, but I don't. But I will tell you who to ask if you're in any of the streams, and I'm sure you are. Is Kenzo? Kenzo's Creations. He's in Colorado, and I'm sure he can tell you every toy store in Colorado.
Um, so
Yeah.
Woody's comment, it didn't show up on YouTube though. Oh my
Didn't,
god.
did it?
Nope. Nope. I'm looking right now. It didn't show up. They blocked it. It got blocked somehow.
Of course it did. Of course it did. You get both though, so you don't have to choose, Woody. You
Oh
yeah,
man.
his buddy had a grand in one, so yep.
Yeah, yeah,
No
they
doubt
can
it.
get up there. It's crazy, man. They
So
can.
so let's talk about our topic. Let's get into our topic if you're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Okay. What?
So we're doing the future of retro, and this actually was a conversation that we kind of or come from a conversation that we had Saturday, and it was the old thing. Like we have said it, multiple people have said it. Like kids aren't really playing with toys anymore. What are they doing? They are they're messing with phones, electronics, but VR stuff like that, and I go in a toy aisle, I see kids in it, but it's all like it's always little kids, like up to like 5, like maybe. I don't see a lot of like 7, 8, 10-year olds.
Mm-mm.
It's always younger kids. And we were trying to figure out how to bring back some older things and try to get kids interested in them and what we would have to do and what could be fun or maybe not so
Like
much fun.
toys or games, right?
Yeah, not
Like
just toys.
yeah, not just toys, but like kind of either toys or games that have been around for a long time. Some that you don't see anymore, really, that might have been from our childhood that you might want to do something with also. To kind of, I mean, that's the spirit of it, right? It's
Right.
like how to take something old, retro, that's considered maybe old school, and figure out a way to bring it into where kids would want to buy it or play with it now, and incorporate either some tech with it or improve it in some way, was kind of the way that I also went about a couple of these, that would do something new with it, that would make it a little more exciting than what it was or is. I guess that's kind of one way I looked at it as well. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where it's at. I think that's where it's
And we're
at.
and we're doing this 7's wild style too. So or at least most of mine are. So commercial where the parents are playing with Motu figs and the kid is on his phone. By the end of the ad, the kid's playing with them. That's as good as you could hope for.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've got my first one pulled up. If
Go
you
right
want,
ahead. Go right
so
ahead.
this one is actually, I think, honestly, probably one of my better ones anyway. But this was we come up with this topic, this was the first thing that come to mind when we started talking about this. So, guys, remember lawn darts? You guys remember those? They were probably all in the basement or in the attic, or your
The
parents had probably
garage.
or your parents had already gotten rid of them because they fucking killed
Yeah,
somebody.
they were scared you'd get stuck in the neck.
And it did hapen.
Yes.
It did happen.
Yes, it did.
So collector, I had the jarts.
Yep.
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 So I remember my cousins on my dad's side, my first cousins, who are actually the ones that I've talked about before that were older than me. They're a little bit older than Pop is. One of them is. They are who got me into G.I. Joe initially. It was the first time I saw Joe stuff was at their house. They had lawn darts. And like they would never let me play with them when I went over there. And their mom and dad, my aunt and uncle, like they just had them. Like you could go look at them and shit, but you couldn't play with them. And so I had an idea. See, y'all, you'd be on the news. They'd be hauling you away. You'd be on TikTok getting arrested these days, which is why I think it's funny how I think you could bring back lawn darts is what if they were delivered by drone and you had drawn darts?
So drone darts.
So if you had a way that you could control them, like Amazon is delivering stuff, they're delivering groceries. If you could control a drone and Pop just through metal pipes. So
that's a story unto itself.
So if you had a drone and you could controlling a drone and you had a drone that could pick up lawn darts, would it be safer if you could target with the drone to drop them into the target area, into the little circle, and you could have drawn darts? And it could be something like this right here.
That looks great.
So how could that not be fun? Look at that. You got the little friendly drone flying over the kids, and they're all targeted. They're right in the landing zone. Everything is perfect. And I just thought it was a good idea. You could combine drone technology with lawn darts, but then you might wind up with something like this, where you got this asshole out here, and these kids back here about to get pelted. Like they're screaming. They're not running. They're not having fun. They're screaming in terror because these darts are raining down.
I don't know. They have smiles on their faces. Yeah. Those are some pretty ruthless kids.
Look at their eyes. It's because their eyes have
already been put out. Dude.
This one's got a sloth eye.
I had to give up. I had to give up on the AI creator because it just wouldn't give me what I wanted. It's like this.
This one right here, no. It's already poked a hole from his eye to his mouth.
Oh no!
So I was just throwing these little AI pictures together, and it popped this one up, and I'm like, oh, that's perfect. It's raining lawn darts. It's raining darts down.
Oh my god!
On that's these great. Kids. Yeah, so
that's poor dad with his. That looks like a first aid box in his hand. Actually, he's gonna need that son of a bitch.
And they're sunk in. They are in the ground. So I had at least said 357. Would that not be if you could play lawn darts delivered by drone? How much that would be awesome.
Well,
So that
the skill in dropping it into the circle,
you
right? Like you
drone's
got to
gonna
have
to
the
have
skill.
wind speed and
Even if it
how,
has a camera on it, you still like, gotta be able to check the angle and stuff and drop it.
yeah. Yep. So that was one that
Love
I
it.
come up with to bring back an old game in a new way.
Nice. Very nice. Uh, I haven't. Mine is nowhere near as funny as that. Actually, I love that. I tried to. I had two ideas that I tried to make AI pictures for, and every time it gave me anything but what I was asking for. It was awful. I'll even show a couple of them here in a minute when I try to talk about one of my things. All right, so do you guys remember? Let's see.
Doing this stuff is what AI has a use for.
Trackball. I talked
Yeah.
about this with you the other night. You
Frag
got
Viper.
yes, Frag Viper, exactly. So we had a trackball set when we were younger, and me and my sister used to get out. We used to sling that fucker around, and uh, and it was fine. It was fun to an extent, and the ball was kind of a little unpredictable because it's kind of like a wiffle ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I would do, to bring it forward is that I would have a button on the handle, and I'd have one of those high powered um, wheels inside. Okay, that way when the ball came in, not only could it would light up, so you had a lit up ball. All right, and you could also squeeze the ball to where it would vibrate, so it'd be extremely unpredictable.
Yeah.
And then you had a wheel inside, and you would click the button, and then when you went to throw it, it would shoot it out with extra power, and it would be spinning at some incredible velocity, and it would and it would make it that much more difficult, but it would be that much more fun to play because otherwise you're just slinging it back and then catching it, slinging it
Catch.
back. And I would, at the very least, you could have some way to speed up or the speed of the ball or the curve of the ball or whatever. I ain't gonna lie though, we did used to have a lot of fun with this thing back in the day, and they hung around for a really long time in the garage.
I remember
Uh,
I never you and I never played that. You and your
no,
sister and your friends
yeah,
on the block did. But
yep,
I remember seeing those at your house for years.
yep. They were there for a long time. But yeah, I would find some way to kind of modernize it with electronics in some shape, form, or fashion to be able to like spin the ball. Because when you would catch it, the ball would be spinning inside, but eventually it
Yeah.
would lose speed, and then you kind of sling it back out. But if there was a way for you to like click a button and start up an electronic wheel and get the ball like going and then throw it out, I think it'd be
Like
pretty
dropping
cool.
something on a treadmill.
Like just sling that son of a bitch. Be like a hundred
Yeah.
mile an hour fire fastball wiffle ball. You know, like
You're trying to catch a Nolan Ryan ball with the little stick.
something like that. You should have seen trying to figure out how to tell an AI how to make a trackball. Uh, that it's not a glove. It's what do you call that thing?
Yeah. A catcher, and
It's
then
so
it's going to give you
stupid.
something else. It had jarts and a drunk stepdad. I'm sure that went over like a lead
Oh
balloon.
man, there's no telling actually how many people got hurt
Oh
with.
man, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Oh yeah, I've got some great, great, great AI pictures. I will show y'all what this crap gave me as I tried to like do it. All right, what do you got next?
All right. So next I have remember that? Remember the tabletop, the electric football?
100%.
You had it. I never
Yep.
had one, and we played it at your house. I
My
never had
buddy
one.
had the Steelers Cowboys from the 1970 19 78 season.
Eight,
I
yeah.
had the Redskins and the Raiders from the 1983 season.
These things were so random, but they were just fun to
Oh
watch
yeah,
the
you
little
couldn't
dudes just
actually make
vibrate
heads or
around.
tails. Yeah.
Yeah, and just um so I had that, and I got another picture of just that I found two NFL teams in official uniforms. So
Yes.
you know what would make this exact game just like this, plug it in, but just change the little figurines just a little bit. You know what would make that better if you could play that?
I don't know what would make it better.
Virtual reality
You know what? I'd be down. Are you talking about if the little figures were on the field and you had a
on the
camera
field. Yep.
and you were following them as they ran around in circles?
And you're watching it and you're bouncing around and they're bumping into each other and shit. And you could have a mode where you could have some kind of chip in the figures where you could take control of it, or you could just have spectator mode, but you could switch between the figures and you could just watch them and you're just vibrating along, bouncing off the other figures. So
Yes.
it would be like an interactive AI or not VR style game, except you are on the old school electric football tabletop, just bouncing around, but you're seeing it in real time.
Nice.
I think that would be awesome.
I'm with you. I would definitely sit and watch the game. I remember, and the collector, look, getting the Super Bowl version and then getting all 28 painted teams one Christmas. So like
Oh,
all
hell
the
yeah.
figures, right? And but the worst part about the game was the quarterback was not an actual player who was like doing like this or whatever. It was a thin thing,
And
and
it was
you'd
like
place the
that.
football and you'd pull back on the thing and it would throw it. And then wherever the football would land, then you would line your guys up there. Like it was like that was how the
Mhm.
rules. And but man, when I was younger, me and my best friend Troy used to play the crap out of this electronic football game. It definitely would have been a lot cooler if we'd been able to see what the players were doing.
You
And
were
every
down
now and
on the
then,
field.
because underneath them, the little things that they were sitting on, underneath them, you would turn them because they had little pegs, and it would determine if they'd go straight, left, right, or
Yeah.
whatever, and you'd try to set them up to run routes. And it was usually just madness, but
Yeah.
occasionally you'd get that one guy who would break off who had the ball in his hands and he'd go all the way. Like, no way.
Going taking it to the house. Yeah.
I used to
So
love
that
this game.
so that was my idea for this one was virtual
That's
reality
cool.
electric
I dig it.
tabletop football.
I dig it. All right, I'm gonna talk about my next one, and I'm gonna present to y'all some of the pictures that I actually tried to make, and some of these are tremendously ridiculous. So I thought, board games, right? So let's look at these precocious little children that somehow have melded into the white background and this giant board game. All right. And then we have, let's see, how about these two kids here? All right. Like, somehow they've gotten stuck inside the game.
It's like the Philadelphia experiment over here.
Or how about this gigantic board game with these random shaped squares and circles? But my idea
There's 12 kids
ultimately,
there.
I know. Look at this. Look at this shit. Look at the hair on these guys. Look at the color that I took the color of a Monopoly board
Like
and it
like
made it
Vic,
into his hair.
it's like Victor Pascal from Pet Cemetery with
Oh
half
my
of his head
God,
exposed.
Jesus. So anyway, um, and then yeah, this one was like this is the main event right here, right? We got like 15 kids all
Yeah.
playing. And so my idea was a four-sided board game with a tower in the center that displays the role or space taken information. And each square on the board has a holographic projector underneath that projects the game pieces up from the bottom. And then the pieces automatically move, determined by the spaces that the player rolled. Then the game can be played with real dice, or the player turns can be created by randomized numbers on the tower. So it's
Okay.
like a hologram. It's almost like the Star Wars chessboard,
Yeah, like
but
the
it's a
hollow chest.
yeah, but it's a holographic board game. So like imagine playing the game of life or something like that. And the little car, it's like, the spinner is, it's your turn and you press the button and the spinner spins and it randomly gives you the number of spaces. And then the hologram,
Yeah,
each square, the car goes and you watch it go. So you don't have to get out the game pieces. You don't have to, but you know what I mean? Like, but each one of the squares from up, it's like Star Wars, and you see like your little Palpatine and he moves spaces, right? Or whatever. So I
like
thought that would be badass if board games, like in the future.
that'd be cool, man. You could use it. You could use that technology for just about any board game.
Well, right.
Like Monopoly, you have a little car driving
Yeah.
around,
Yep.
or
Yep.
you had the shoe like hopping.
Just whatever it
Yeah,
is, a game of Sorry, you got your projected kind of bubble in the middle or whatever. But I thought that definitely like board games would be cool if you could have like hologram projected game pieces that would move around the board for you, and
yeah,
then
I like
somehow
that
your
idea.
scores or stuff in the middle on some kind of tower or some kind of screen or something like that. All right,
Yeah,
so
I
anyway,
like
all right.
that. That's cool. Like I was thinking about something like the hollow chest, but I just couldn't figure
Yeah,
out
yeah.
how to get it in there. All right, so here's another one along with the lawn darts. Here's another one everybody at least had pieces of in their garage or basement is croquet.
Oh
Anybody
yeah.
good old croquet. Did anybody play croquet? I
All
don't
them
remember
damn
us
balls.
I don't ever remember us having a croquet set, but I swear it seems like we had one at one of the family reunions at my
I'm
old
sure
house.
along the way, I remember playing it. My sister might be able to chime in and tell me whether or not we had one. I seem to think we had. Yep, yep, yep. She did.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we did. I remember setting them up. Sorry, I remember setting them up and taking the mallet, and hitting them with the mallet and different. And we didn't know how to play.
No, you
Not
just knew you
really.
had to knock a ball through that horseshoe thing.
Yes, right. Yeah,
That's all
that's
you knew.
exactly right.
And it goes back to what Turk had said up here. Did anybody actually read the rules to these yard games? Not a once.
Chances are you got them and they didn't even have a book. You end up
Yeah.
somehow getting it at a yard sale or some shit like
You
that,
get one that's you don't know how many balls are supposed to be in it, but it's probably
Yeah,
missing three of them.
100%.
So I use the same stance when I pee. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, Turk, you
No,
probably would find one of those, man, like at your grandparents or something. It was definitely a product of probably the 60s, 70s, I would dare say,
yeah.
popularity
Oh
wise. It
yeah.
was became a staple of the classic American nuclear family kind of thing, maybe a
Yep.
badminton net, something like
Yep.
that.
No, that I know we had. We
Yeah.
got the video of that.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah,
the
we
we
do.
got the video of that at the
That's
house.
true.
So the same aunt and uncle and cousins that had the lawn darts had croquet. And it's funny because like this is a family that I could not picture at all going out and doing any of this shit. And they had all of it. They had a pool table that anytime I went over there, like, oh, can we play pool? Like, yeah, we'll have to find the balls. Where the fuck else would they be other than in the pockets or in the rack? Like,
Right,
so
right, right.
so they had lunchbox. I think lunchbox killer's a little bit behind. 49ers version. They must be talking about the
Oh,
table.
yep, yep, yep.
Uh,
Talking about the
boy,
what? Well, yep. Once he
yeah,
catches
I'll,
up.
I'll put it in there. I think you're a little behind lunchbox.
That's all right.
So maybe he meant to be. Maybe he went to pause it and he went to go fix something to eat. So
Maybe
we'll
he
be
had to
here
go
when you
play.
catch
Maybe
up.
he had to go play some drone dog.
Yeah, some drone. So I just like that because it sounds like draws.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You
All
gotta
right.
get them
So,
drone dogs.
so let's bring some croquet up to modern times with some electronics. Does anybody have a cat? Anybody in here got a cat? Like I used to have cats. I don't have cats anymore. But if I had cats, I would definitely have one of these things for them. And I think if you could turn this into a croquet ball, um, if you could somehow take this ball and turn this into a croquet ball. So this is one of the smart interactive cat toys. So it moves on its own.
Oh no.
It loves mules. Yep.
You got a cat.
So these things are made. They've got sensors in them, and this is just one of many different kinds that are out now. There's some that don't have the rope and the bracket out here. It's just a solid ball, and you turn it on, and a lot of them will have like a little chase tail or something, but not all of them. And it has sensors, and it rolls around. As soon as the cat touches it, it activates and it goes rolling off somewhere on its own. And it has sensors that'll like keep it from going underneath shit. And the cat will grab it and it'll send it off in another direction. So what I was thinking was if you could turn this into croquet balls and you partner up on croquet and you hit the ball and then it goes off and your partner has to hit the ball and send it in another direction and maybe make the U things it's got to go through a little bit wider. So you and your partner would be out there playing croquet with mallets looking like these cats chasing the interactive croquet balls around the yard.
Oh my God.
So that was my idea to get people out active playing croquet
with their cat.
With their kid and their cats. Don't hit either of them with the mallets.
Well, the kid, fair game.
So you see out here, dude's getting ready. So say he strikes that ball and it just takes off over his foot toward the post. So I was that's modernized croquet. The brother was talking and he put it on.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, it's all good. Yep, all good. I think he's talking about the 49ers.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
So maybe there was a 49ers.
Well, I thought about that. That's exactly what I thought about. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. This one is definitely in the future, coming at you all the way live. I thought, hey, didn't we all play dodgeball back in the day? Didn't we all play dodgeball?
Dodge a wrench and dodge a ball.
So so I thought, make dodgeball a little more interesting. So let's say that, the people who are throwing the balls, right? And if you're on the other end, right, like in gym class, let's say that you had magnetic gauntlets, all right? Or a shield, something, but gauntlets I thought would be fun. And the ball itself has also polar opposite magnets inside. And then when you threw the ball at somebody, the person that is the one getting thrown at, if you're good enough, especially if you're able to get your wrists together, you could send the ball back at the thrower or deflect it, right? So instead of trying to dodge or you can still dodge, or catch, you could actually send it back with the magnets where like that they were strong enough where you could shoot the ball back the other way.
That'd be awesome. You feel like Wonder Woman.
You know what I mean? Because like a shield or something like that would be super, be
Be
kind of too
cumbersome.
because all you have to do is just do like this, you know what I mean? But if let's say you had like a couple, and the magnets themselves were like, powerful enough that if they got close to each other, there was enough resistance that it literally, the ball would go the other
Yeah.
way. And so you had to be a little creative. It's like so you try to dodge or whatever, but if you could, you could add a different thing to the game where if you were able to deflect it back or you know what I mean, put your wrist
Yeah.
together some way like that, and it got the magnets and like so it kind of changed the game up from just that to add an extra like strategy to dodgeball somehow.
Hell yeah,
Um,
that'd be cool, man. And like I like Dave. I like Dave's idea. You should also receive an electric shock if you get hit with the ball. You'd be
Trust me.
paralyzed for a few seconds.
I had a few ideas like that, but then I thought, no, it would never pass. It would never get, you know, like I think the drawn darts would actually pass the safety regulations. You know what I'm saying? The shock thing, I don't know. It's like it might be a hard time to get that through. Maybe in China,
Yeah,
Russia.
maybe. Dave says they'll recruit anyone into the Techno Vipers.
Yeah, no kidding. That's good. Oh my
Germs and
God.
dodgeball.
Oh, this poor
I,
soul in the middle though. This
oh
this
yeah,
that's a tough one right there.
yeah, that's
Um,
rough. I don't think I ever played Super Dodgeball on NES.
I can't remember. I
I
think
don't
I
remember it.
did, but I can't remember for sure.
I don't
Uh,
remember that one.
but yeah,
Uh,
that was one of my ideas was just like, hey, if you had dodgeball, what could you add to the game of dodgeball that would give it an extra,
I like
some
that.
kind of extra strategy to it.
I like the magnets and the deflecting, and you have to have a rule where if you deflect it and it hits, like you have to
Yeah,
deflect
yeah,
it and
yeah.
try to send it back toward
Right,
who threw it, and
right.
that knocks them out instead of catching it. If that
Yep.
goes back and hits them and
Or
shocks them and incapacitates them,
or it's like both sides are wearing magnets, and then you're just like going.
nobody
Just
ever
fucking
gets their hands on it. Like nobody, the one person throws it and then it's just running around deflecting the ball. Oh, that'd be great. Oh, I like it. I like it. So, all right, what about Princess No Way? Leia? Uh, you guys remember playing hopscotch? Did you play hopscotch when you
Little
were kids?
hopscotch, little hopscotch. Any of those chalk games was usually like Foursquare or Around the World.
Hmm.
Little hopscotch, but I was never good at hopscotch because I didn't quite understand the rules. I never understood like the actual how you play because I never took the time. Whether you rolled
Yeah,
dice or something, or you had to add up the numbers or something. I'm not
yeah.
sure. I still don't understand the game.
They took the chalk away from us one time because we were playing body outline. And trying to make up how you died.
Damn.
We made up the body outline game.
Wow. This is
I
before
don't
CSI Miami.
this was before this was CSI third grade.
Right.
so, so I was thinking of outdoor games. I'm like, well, what could you do? Yeah, yeah. So we got the chalk taken away for like a week. And I don't even think we had colored chalk then. I don't remember it.
Probably not.
Maybe we did, but I don't remember colored chalk.
Probably not.
Um,
Yep.
so I was trying to like, what could you do with hopscotch? And then I got to thinking about it. Well, what if you were hopping around like you have to hop and catch Pokemon or something similar? So you had to hop down the board and
Okay.
so not necessarily Pokemon, just using Go as a model. So you had to hop to a certain number to to collect it, and like you had to hop over digital obstacles, like you couldn't land on certain numbers.
Oh, that's where I blow my knee out. That's where the
Yeah.
ACL tear comes from.
And also, and it's even harder because how are you doing this? How do you know? Well, you're also looking at your phone.
Wait a minute.
You have to have your phone up because these kids are all looking at their phones anyway.
Is that hand coming through the wood?
No, it's not.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it looks like this is not an AI picture. So
it's not?
No, you see right there, there's the bottom. There's the hand. See?
Wait, go back. Come back. Okay, for some reason, I thought the hand was on the other side of the edge of the table holding the phone up. Okay? So that's like a left hand holding the phone up like this. And I'm like, that shit's coming through the table.
This was Thing from Adam's Family that was doing the photo shoot for this.
Look at the grain of the hand and the wood grain of the table in the bottom left corner.
It matches.
See the grain? It matches. Look at that.
Right there. It does. It matches up pretty good. So this is the new table hand accessory. So available now at your local Pier 1 imports. So you got your hopscotch board and you got your phone in your hand. So say right here, so you got to get to 4 to catch your Pokemon or Digimon or whatever the hell mon. You can't hit 2 or 3 or else you're going to get eaten by Charizard or some shit. So you're looking at your phone Charizard. And you gotta hop over 2 and 3 and get to 4, and then say you got to get from 4 to 9. So you
see, now that's death. Yeah, that's certain death.
You got a Bulbasaur, a Twatosaurus there in the middle. You got to hop over.
Squirtle. Maybe you have to jump over a Squirtle. War Turtle.
Yep, I've jumped over a Squirtle or 2. So
man, I had one just a little while ago.
so you looking at your phone and you got to jump over the certain number and hit on a certain number to catch your whatever. So that was my way to get kids playing.
Triple D's guys got it right though, man. Right, like a modern outdoor game involve a cell phone of some kind. Yep. I'm gonna save because I think I didn't mean to, but I think you and I maybe have the same idea about something, but it's two completely different. Well, two different things. Okay, maybe not. I may have misjudged. I don't know. But so I'm gonna move on to.
I've got one more.
Well, wait. Did you have 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you got one more. I have to do this one, and I have my last one. My last one's actually kind of funny, and I was just goofing around with it. So I'll go ahead and do this one here. All right. Let's just go ahead and save this little buddy. Come on, little sucker. Let me minimize that. Take this over here. All right, because I need to access this. So, first and foremost, my idea was, what could you do with the big wheels?
Yeah.
What could you do with big wheels, right? This is a classic. Look at them pants. Look at that shirt. If this isn't a classic ad for big wheels, look at them shoes, man.
It's like 1980 right
streamers coming off of the handlebars, dude. Look, it says it plays hard and it plays safe. I mean, that sounds like a car commercial, right? So, so the thing is that I try to do some AI pictures, and then I'll give you an idea of what AI will do to your shit. For instance, how about this creation?
What the hell?
Or how about this creation?
That's a Tron cycle.
Right? Or how about when I tried to incorporate the picture of the kid and it decided to use his arms and body as part of the
turbo
actual...
thing.
It sucked him in to the look at this shit.
Oh no! Look, and he's looking at the damn phone too.
I know. Look at this. Look at what is this? Fucking shit.
It's like a chopper, like
This was the
elevated seat.
This was almost the best one, except look,
The
it's
feet.
like
Just the feet hanging out of the bottom. It's the Fred Flintstone big wheel. It's the Flint wheel.
I couldn't even. So I tried all kinds of ways. Then here's the one that uses the phone for the seat. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to. So anyway, and then I got some cool ones like this, but then there's no handlebars or no seat.
Maybe it's all touchscreen. You steer with your finger on the touchscreen.
And then I was like, add a seat, and then it did this. I'm like that's a bicycle. Damn
Well,
it.
how many? Go back to that one. How many sets of pedals does that have? It's got pedals on the wheels.
Fucking pedals on the kickstand. I'm sorry. It was so stupid. Every time I tried to type it in, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
This also looks like it was created in the neighborhood from Edward Scissorhands.
Yes, I typed in like, colorful neighborhood, vibrant neighborhood. But like, these are just like, that one's not too bad. But the thing is, the phone's not where I need it to be. And then you got whatever this is.
At least it's got a seat.
And then this. It's a Segway.
It's a hoverboard.
So anyway, the idea, as we look at this creation with wings, the idea was big wheel cycle with a smartphone dock in between the handlebars, right? So you could do augmented reality on the screen but if you had various switches and buttons on the cycle, then the big wheel had built-in Bluetooth technology that would sync with your phone, and then the various actions that you could press on the buttons or the handlebars would shoot weapons or whatever, that kind of thing, depending on what button is pressed.
That could be cool.
So
might as well get them used to driving and looking at the phone as early as possible.
And so for kids, just for kids, like, something simple, it just have a dock, you could put it. But every time I tried to get it, it would dock the phone like there.
Yeah.
Or my favorite is like, oh no, just have it facing the wrong way. It's so stupid. But my favorite of all, really, truly, is the poor young boy who got sucked in.
So, do you remember you probably don't, there may be somebody in the chat remembers in Nightmare on Elm Street 5, where the dude is on the motorcycle and he falls asleep and Freddy is the motorcycle and starts fusing with him. That's what that reminds me of.
Barely. I would have to go back and watch it, but I think I remember, like, look at these kids and how much fun they're having, and then you realize this little tyke over here on the left, he's kind of off the ground, but he's levitating. He only has one wheel. It's a one-wheeled, like, he's not even riding anything. He's
just
gotta
run and push it. Push a wheel. Eric's a 10-finger big wheel on one hand.
I'm so pissed. I'm like, Canva, you let me down, you son of a bitch. Anyway, all right, so that was my big wheel. And I was worried that would be too close to what you have.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, and Loves Mule said that picture, that kid on the big wheel looks like either of us at that age. I think I had that shirt.
Yeah. Oh no, 100. We all had that shirt at that age.
All right, so who doesn't remember doing shit like this right here?
Hell yes.
Just flying through the air and you jumping over 5 of your friends on your bike.
Yes.
Hauling ass. Now, when I told you about this, I remembered you live on your mom's house. So you grew up, you lived on a big hill.
Old hill, big long street.
Yeah, about halfway up. And used to come over, and I used to when I get dad, or usually dad, because he had a truck, bring me over, and I remember it was a big thing for me to he'd let me out at the top so I could ride my bike all the way down either to the bottom
Yeah.
or down and jump it up in your yard. But used to ride down because it was a cul-de-sac, and your buddy Troy lived at the
The bottom center, like the bottom
bottom
center. So
middle.
you could
Yeah.
go all the way down and jump into his yard off the curb.
Yeah. I hit his driveway and
Yeah.
like, so you could go all the way down that hill and then set up like a ramp on the curb and stuff. So, because I didn't have that, we've talked about that before. I didn't have that experience here. I rode a bike. It was on gravel,
Yeah.
so I
Yep.
had a somewhat different experience riding my bike around. But just out doing stuff like this, doing dumb shit like this,
Yep.
making jumps, just cruising around, and some of the stuff we used to do on bikes, lunch boxes, only on BMX or skateboard. So to
BMX.
bring this up to modern times is kind of doing the same kind of shit, and maybe Turk Murphy's still listening, I don't know. What about doing it on one of these new e-bikes, one of these new electric bikes? And while I was looking this up, electric bike jumping is apparently a pretty big thing. There
Man,
are
I believe
actual
it.
e-bikes built for jumping.
Yeah.
And I was hoping maybe Turk could still be in the chat and see if he's ever built anything like this or rode anything like
Right.
this before. But I was thinking, like, imagine how much more speed you could get up coming down that
Oh,
ramp on one of
absolutely.
those e-bikes.
I got a dude that rides one around the neighborhood. He putts all around the place. He
Yeah.
cruising.
I say you come down and you could probably jump 10 of your friends on one of these e-bikes. So just the kind of stuff instead of just 5. So yeah, there's Turk. So yeah, they got wheelie guys too that do
I believe
wheelies on the
that too.
e-bikes.
Yeah,
So while I was
100%.
looking these up and looking up pictures of e-bikes, and I was like, oh my God, there's like a whole subset of people that build and race and specifically jump these bikes. So it got me thinking how much of that cool shit we used to do, dangerous shit you could
Could you
do
do now?
it with an e-bike, and like going uphill and getting uphill quicker
Well,
and
those
stuff.
tires are so
Yeah,
fat
they're
too,
huge.
man. Like, so you can pretty much ride over anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are actually awesome because look, I ain't gonna lie. Take the pedaling part out of it for me,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm golden. You know what I mean? Like I am good. If
Yeah.
you take the pedaling
Yep.
part out, I am good.
I have had motorcycles. I can manage an e-bike as long as I ain't got a pedal.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Clint, yeah, specialized like with the e-bikes.
yeah.
Um, I've looked at them when I gone to Best Buy. I've taken a peek at them in person just to kind of see,
Dang.
and it's like, what, is it something I would use and kind of
Yeah.
putt around a little bit? Um,
I have less of a place to ride one now than I did when I was a
yeah,
kid.
that's true. And then I think about it and I'm like, well, would I really use it? It's like I just these some bitches driving around here, they're too crazy.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
I mean, now there is a sidewalk that basically goes all the way to where I need it, but I just don't trust anybody in this town, even with
Mm-mm.
the designated bike lanes and little sticks that have the reflectors
Yeah.
on them, so they
Yeah.
they
Just the
you
little
know you
clicker
don't
sticks when you run them over.
yeah, like you don't want to run into that thing, right? And so, but I actually thought about having one though. There's
Yeah.
people where I work. It's in a true like neighborhood like residential
Yeah.
side streets, and they all have like golf carts,
Hmm.
and that shit would be cool. Like having a golf cart,
Yeah.
and just putting around your neighborhood where there's a bar right down the street and a
Yeah.
gas station and a market,
Yep.
a vet and another place to adopt animals and like I mean a laundromat. Like you got everything right there. You just got your golf cart. You just roll down the street, and all them houses go for about $900,000.
Yep.
That's fucking
They all look
ridiculous.
exactly alike, and they're all
Yeah, well,
10
some of
feet
these
from the next
no,
house.
actually, over there it's not. That's what's
Well, yeah,
crazy. And yeah,
that's
in
true.
Sylvan, it's
Where you're
not
at.
like that. It's been preserved, which I think
Yeah,
is
that's true.
fantastic. All right, so my last thing is this. I'm just gonna bring it up. You know, we all used to play War, didn't we? We all
Oh,
used
hell
to play
yeah.
War in the backyard. We all used to dress up. Here's us down in the bottom there. See, that's us. That's us back in the day. You know, we dress up, put the beret on and stuff. And good luck Googling kids playing Army or kids playing
Oh,
War
yeah.
because Google is not real fond of that shit.
No. You
They'll
wind
show
up
a
getting
bunch of
some
kids playing.
National Geographic photos from some war torn country.
They'll show you a bunch of kids playing tug of war. But
Yeah.
like, yeah. So anyway, so I thought, you know, what's a way that I could have taken that game, of us out back here in the backyard and like, just having fun, running around with our guns, shooting at each other, wearing our army clothes. And you and I, we used to have like the badges. Remember, we'd go to
Oh,
Freedman's
yeah.
and get the army or the detective badges, or
Yep.
we'd do that, get the army gear. And I thought, how could we bring it in the future? And I thought, hey, playing war in the backyard as kids, we could make this game futuristic by putting real bullets in the guns and the kids wearing body armor with night vision goggles so we don't miss. Who needs to pretend when we can have the real thing?
Do it for real. And you had to be tough when you played outside. So this would just help condition.
I mean, bring it into the modern age. Give the kids guns. Let them go.
They're
There.
already playing this in Nashville downtown.
Actually,
They've already
they
taken your
are
idea.
playing. It's the concrete jungle.
Yep.
I just couldn't.
It's
I thought,
Con
what
Nom.
can I possibly come up with? And so stupid. Just, just put real guns in their hands and let them go. Kids will be
Yep.
kids.
Yep.
Stupid.
Yeah, we had Army set up. Yeah, we played Army. We played.
We did.
I mean,
We had
it was
all
had
the
the
clothes and
yeah
stuff. Yeah, man,
the
that was
military
fun.
clothes.
Berets. I used to love wearing a
Beret.
beret and like, just and you had your gun and we had teams, and there was wooded areas around where I lived. There's nothing like where you were at, but
Yeah.
but where I was at, there was a lot more kids because of the neighborhood, but there was wooded areas where we still could kind of try to camo, and try to hide and jump out and
Yeah.
so I used to love doing that though. It's so much
Y'all
fun.
had one thing down there like where you were at that I always thought was so awesome was back there in the back in that bottom behind Troy's was that old railroad trestle
There, yeah,
that
there's a
ran through
railroad
there.
that used to run through there. The tracks were broken, and you could walk in between them, and they were, it would be like at your shoulders. You'd have one side and then the other side,
Yeah.
and but yeah, no, there was railroad tracks that used to run back through there, um,
Yeah,
and
that was cool because I mean I had plenty of woods, but there wasn't no shit like
oh
that
yeah,
here.
yeah,
So
but I used to love I mean, just putting on the gear and you know getting your little handgun. And of course, our play guns back then looked like actual guns. They
yeah,
actually looked
weren't no
real.
orange tips yet back then.
Matthew, I watched all 3 episodes of Andor last night, and I thought that was quite interesting that they were mimicking the French Revolution. I thought that was on. I thought that was on Gorman. I thought that was really interesting.
Still not seen one episode of Andor, although
Yeah,
I am about 3/4 of the way through the first episode of Mobland.
yeah. I've heard it's really good. I
It's
haven't
it's,
had a
it's
chance
good.
to check it out yet, but it's that kooky schedule. I tell you what's kooky is my sleep schedule. I only sleep for like 20 minutes at a time. then maybe an hour, then like
You're like a
40
cat.
minutes, and like an hour. Yeah, it sucks. Trust me.
To get you one of those balls to bat around down there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be start kicking some balls if I don't get more sleep here soon.
I believe it. Well, that is pretty much our show for tonight.
Yeah.
Hope you guys have enjoyed our
Yes.
silly ideas once again. Oh
Um.
yeah, hell yeah! This right here, it's like Rambo getting ready to fight in their movies. I
Yes.
could hear the theme
Yes.
music gearing up, putting on the
Yes.
vest, headband, putting my favorite. I'll tell you what my favorite thing was, Turk, and this wasn't when we played Army. This was when I would go out by myself and traipsing in the woods, or if Pop was over here and we weren't really playing, we were just going out, like just doing our thing, playing outside, was my machete. I had
Yep.
uh I had a actual Army machete. It was my dad's machete that he brought back from the Army when he got out in 72. It was a 1944 forged steel actual machete, been to God knows where. He brought it back. He gave it to me. That thing went everywhere with me. Still have it. It is in my room. And talking about playing Rambo, favorite thing was putting that machete in and out of that military grade canvas holster with the metal rings and shit on it. Put it in, and then
Yep.
you just go.
Yep.
So that was the best, man.
It's
We
just
hit the
like that
woods
comment
with
though.
machetes and BB guns.
Yeah, that comment though definitely about, your music in your head as you're tying on a bandana or you're putting, your gear on, and that's what it was about. I mean, that's what was popular at the time, and you wanted to feel like a badass, and then see that's so here's the deal. The super soakers and stuff, my son and I don't do, but we have run around the yard in the last couple few years with the Nerf guns and like, done that whole deal. And, last year I dressed up in full camo. He dressed up in full greens. And we were outside running around in army clothes. And I'm thinking, God, the neighbors are probably like, what in the hell are they doing? It's like, of course, me being like, late 40s. And here's this 16-year-old kid. And we're running around and, shooting each other multiple Nerf guns and unloading, 180 rounds each, 120 rounds each, and you got to go find them all.
Did you see? I sent you a reel a while back, and I sent it to. I know I sent it to you. I sent it to Matthew. I think I sent it to Lawrence, and I may have sent it to War Chest, but it was the dude that made the Nerf miniguns.
I
Do
don't
you
think
do
I
you remember
remember.
seeing it?
I
It's
don't.
been a minute. It's been a while back. So there's this guy, and he actually made a replica M134 fucking light Blaine's gun, and it is a Nerf minigun. It's belt fed, and it's this whole
Hell yeah.
thing. How he made it, and like how it shows how he put the battery in it and hooked it up and the gears and stuff, and then it just shows him blasting with this thing, and then he slows it down and you see how many Nerf rounds are actually launching out of it, and it's got the full 6 or whatever 8 barrels, and
Right.
it's blowing them out, and you're like, oh, that is the coolest thing I ever
Nice.
seen. And you go through his whole demonstration, and you're like, this dude's a genius. Like, man, if they ever made this, like just the money they would sell in replacement darts, but it probably takes an hour to load it.
Yeah,
But so
exactly.
it goes through his whole spiel, and then he stops and he was like, I like this, but it wasn't perfect. So I wondered how I could improve on the design. And he's like, so I went back and I made this bigger, and I put in a bigger battery, and I made this gear bigger. And he breaks out the improved version, and it is like double the darts that comes out. And it just looks like you always hear pissing lead,
Yeah.
this dude is
Yeah.
pissing darts. And he's got like this table set up where he's got cups stacked up like solo cups.
We did
And
that
he was,
last year. We did so yeah. We did
but
sniper
it's yeah,
contests.
oh yeah, but it's probably oh man, I probably sent it to you 2 months ago. So,
All
but I
right.
know I sent it. I know I sent it to you three. I think I sent it to War Chest too. But just because we always talk about Predator, how much Predator comes up, how
Oh
much we
yeah.
all love that mini that Blaine's
Yep.
got. So I was like, I gotta send this to everybody. So
There's a guy that did all kinds of stuff. I used to watch his videos with my son, and he would make obstacle course or not obstacle courses, but target practice courses in his
yeah,
apartment, and like try to see how fast and which guns he measured different guns and how accurate they were and all that kind of stuff. It's actually quite interesting, really, with the Nerf stuff anyway. But
yeah,
sure
that
wouldn't want to
stuff.
pick up all them darts, man. I can tell you that
No,
much.
hell
It's a
no. That'd be
pain
the
in the
things.
ass.
Because I mean, that video after that, I mean, the floor is just like you got to kick your way through
Oh
darts. I
yeah,
mean, it's probably
oh yeah.
hundreds
I'm
of
sure.
darts
I am
that
sure.
this shit went through. Yep,
Yep.
old painless. So
Yeah.
let's see, we still got 9 hanging in. Hit that
Yeah.
like if you hadn't done it yet, or if you're watching the replay and managed to make it to the end here. Been on 3 hours and
Yeah.
15 minutes. I got to be up in 6 hours, so
Yeah, I got a doctor's appointment in the morning, so it's time to boogie.
time to wrap it up. So,
Time to boogie.
what you got coming up over on the old Pop Blender channel?
Man, just Sunday night at this point right now, just Sunday. Got a day off on Friday, so gonna try to get something done on Friday. So I'll take a look if I can get something done and get it out. I'll try to push it out. So get video.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I don't know. I may need your help still. I don't, probably not, but I'll
Yeah,
let you know.
just let me
It
know, but we'll
be
figure it
Friday
out.
night, and it can be
All right.
whatever time if I need that. But
All right.
I know what you're talking about. So I believe so. And then you got your stream on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday night. So, at 10 Eastern. So, and then with Matthew next Tuesday, as usual. But everybody here, I think, knows about that. So, there ain't
Yep.
much for me to add to it. That's about
No,
it.
I don't know. I do have a very strong feeling I may be very soon doing a video on a NECA Pee Wee Herman account. Uh, um, I know I got something supposed to be here Friday, but it's one of them things that I don't know if I'm gonna do a video on it, if I'm gonna open it or not. I'm trying to decide. Um, and then we'll see what happens with this GameStop situation. So that'd be great if I got some of them figures if they actually shipped and showed up. But
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that's some kind of clerical error somewhere. But we'll see. Then I'll be back here next Wednesday with Crusty Old Crow for Backyard Battlefield, and we might possibly be having us a guest. We got to have some discussion about that, but it's time to have a guest back on for some of our wackiness over there, and think we got a idea who might be showing up with us. And we gotta say, May the Power of the Force starts tomorrow on Allison and Punk's joint venture with all of the different content creators, doing reviews on the prequel figures from episode
Yeah.
1 to 3. So if it's a 3 3/4 prequel figure, holler at Punk or Allison, get your review done. Don't have to be professional. You don't have to be a figure reviewer. It don't matter. Just participate. It's a lot of fun. You can do it on your phone. It don't have to be edited. You don't have to have a bunch of props. They're fun to do. And this is the time, if you ever thought about trying to do a review, if you don't, this is the perfect time to try it, because nobody's definitely going to be judging doing something like this. It's all for fun.
Who cares?
So those videos are going to start popping up tomorrow at 8 Eastern, I believe, is what he said, is when they're all going to start coming out. So you got all day to watch them. His is going to be tomorrow. And then Crow, and then Tony, then Hyperdelic, and then me. And I don't remember after that, but he's going to be pushing out the schedule. But everybody check those out. Maybe find some creators and some folks that you haven't watched that are in the community that maybe you've seen. So go over and check their channel out, and maybe you'll find something you like and just make the circle a little bit bigger. And aside from that, I don't think I've got much coming up to review. We'll see, just see what shows up, see what I pick up. So that's all we've got for you guys tonight. Thank everybody for hanging out with us. If you're watching the replay, thank you. And we will see you guys in
Absolutely
2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Get ready for a surprise.